no way! Holy shit! There's no way!
From a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Welcome to the NFL playoffs week, Doug.
Hey, let's watch somebody roll down the hill there, like just freaking take a tumble all the way down. That had to freaking hurt. It was cold.
And he was, I don't know. I thought he was going to come swinging, and I don't know what he was doing.
No, he came up like he was going to freaking launch in and just, nope.
Right, and how do you get that big of a dude to tumble like that?
Yeah, and he was just like, woof, and just down. Like, that guy must have been pretty strong.
He was strong. But what's not strong, Doug, is my unfiltered wheat from Boulevard Brewery.
It's classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yep.
Cheers.
Looks the part. Cheers to you, sir. Very nice.
A wheat beer is not something you see a lot around this time of year, so I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
What's going on in your area of the world?
So I am going to start tonight with a lager. From Nickelbrook Brewing out of Toronto, Canada. No Bad Days, easy drinking lager. Cool little logo there.
Right.
I'm actually wearing one of their shirts because that was my favorite brewery we visited when we were in Toronto in September. So I've had this in September. So it's a lager. I figured it would keep.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a hoppy lager. But...
No. It's just a easy drinking lager. The hops in it are Magnum, Saz, and Tetnanger. Sorry. I don't know.
So hoppy lagers are hard drinking?
I guess. They just made it sound like it's something you could just hang out by the pool. And to me, that's not hoppy. That's more like your regular style lagers. But so you and I are of different definitions.
I'm not even going to. We'll let that one slide. I don't want to start arguing what you got.
Yeah, that is. But look how light that is. Like,
it's nice.
Yeah. It's it is very easy drinking. Like a little hop presence, but not overly so. Definitely not malty, so it kept well. So yeah, this is something you could seriously just drink a lot of. It's easy drinking. So cheers to you, sir. Nice to see you on Friday again. Yeah. That's how I pour them, though.
All right, Doug. So I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars for making the playoffs and actually getting their shit together for once, even though their owner is a dumbass and the GM is even stupider. Yeah. But, Doug, I do have to say, because Doug has ran me down enough times about Urban Meyer and about how I got that wrong, but Doug's never really given me credit for getting it right about Doug Peterson. So I'm going to give you a chance to give me my props. So I'm 500 on your Jaguars because I got 1 year wrong and I got 1 year right. So I'm cool.
All right. Yes, you do get some props in that. I was not in on Peterson. I was a little dubious.
Yeah, and I actually said, if I'm pretty sure, Doug, I said the same easy thing, which is I think he should do okay because of his track record. Now, Urban Meyer went down. That man is just a mess. Now, Doug Peterson is not a mess, and he was able to get it together. And I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's fun to root for. He seems to be a good guy. Mm-hmm. So Jacksonville's young. They are an up-and-coming team. No one expects them to do anything. So I hope y'all go on some crazy run and get to the Super Bowl. So cheers.
Yeah, I think with how bad we've been in most recent years, like I think the last time we were in the playoffs was 08, 07. It's been a while. Maybe no, I think it was 2016.
It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long, believe it or not.
I think it was 2016 because they actually almost beat New England in New England.
Yeah.
They came very close and they won a couple games. But that was with Blake Bortles. Wow, that guy sucks. But we had a great year. To me, with Jaguars, I think that the standard for Jaguars fans is, can we get to 500? And we're 9-8. So to me, hey, it's gravy. If they win, that's awesome. I would love to see them win. But they're playing the Chargers. Chargers are crazy talented. Their coach is a little bit of a wingnut, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And Lawrence
win this game at home. That's all I'm saying. I know Jaguars shouldn't win any game. I understand.
Yeah, that's fair. At least they're not the Bears.
Yeah, and I think it's a new era. You got some young dudes on the defense that are awesome. You got some young dudes on the offense that are awesome. Your coach is pretty solid. He's won the Super Bowl in a city that's hard to win in. And so didn't Doug Peterson win with Carson Wentz? Oh my God.
Well, so anyway, Carson Wentz and then Nick Foles.
Then Nick Foles. Oh my God. Even bigger. Oh my God.
Big Dick Nick Foles comes in and freaking wins the Super Bowl and plays out of his mind. And then after that, didn't play decent the rest of the time. Just never really good anymore. So.
I could argue that this man's a miracle worker. So, I am rooting for Jacksonville. Is that the first game tomorrow? So I'm rooting for Jacksonville.
I think they're the second game tomorrow. I think the first game is Dolphins Bills, which is going to be that's going to be a mess because Dolphins can't play Tua. If they bring Tua back, they should just be outlawed in the NFL because you can't have a guy have 3 fucking concussions in a couple month period and have him play anymore that year. That guy should not be playing for a fucking year. Like concussions are fucking bad, and he's had 3 of them. Like let that guy sit for some, so he's not like 50 years old and lost all those marbles. Sorry for the tangent.
I just wanted to talk about that because I don't know about how much I guess talks football or if he does even at all. So I just wanted to make sure he's going like this. So.
Yeah.
So I figure we have enough to chat with him about, so I wanted to kind of get that out of the way. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to put the Urban Meyer's stain on our friendship behind us. So.
I remember, dude, you said that. I'm telling you, I was
like, this could be all right.
You're going to be hired. I was like, this is bad. I was like, this is really bad.
This might be all right. I was like, it might. I mean, his pedigree, though, Doug, you still can't really even assail it, even after that bump with Jacksonville. I wouldn't surprise me if he gets another job somewhere. I would never hire the dude to do anything besides anything. But you never know. People get desperate. You never know. It's a desperate kind of a profession. It's football, either college or everybody's desperate to win. People just want the easy win, and these rich people just want to throw money at it. Yep. So like, it's not that simple, y'all. It's not that simple.
And listen, if Rick Pitino can get another job, and Rick Pitino got caught at like having prostitutes for his recruits. And having an affair with his woman in his office, and he got 2 more jobs after that.
Hey, listen, somebody wants to give the previous POTUS a job again. So there's so many indictments maybe coming for this dude. He's literally his whole company was convicted of fraud, tax crimes. Mm-hmm. People are trying to run to have him president again. So there's no it doesn't really matter. If you're an old white guy, you can get like 16,000 chances. You can get a fat Dana White slapping his wife.
Yeah.
Slapping his wife.
And all he says is, I have to live with this. Yeah, but you didn't get punished for it, you dipshit.
He literally
and that guy, he's a huge guy. He's not like a little guy. He's huge.
Nothing. He says his punishment is shame, dog.
Yeah, that's a real punishment when you're freaking raking in millions of dollars. Jesus. Like that. I don't know if you heard about this one for a quick tangent. Mikal Bridges, was it Mikal Bridges? For Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets. like he did some awful shit to his pregnant wife. I mean, beat her up. And it's on like, I think it's on audio and it might be on video. And he's getting ready to get another contract. I don't know. All right, starting off with a positivity tip here this Friday.
Yeah. Isn't this a great, as we segue to our guest?
We'll get all the sports talk out early and get that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, one more time now.
Holy shit! There's no way!
Dude, that guy looked.
Doug Deuce? Doug, it doesn't take much though. You know how steep those, those stairs are? Like sometimes I feel I'm gonna fall down them and I don't even have a drink. So that's sloppy motherfucker. Yeah. So, but who's not sloppy, I don't think, is our guest. I'm pretty sure.
What a segue. We're doing good.
We are. And I'm not sloppy because I've only had a really nice sweet beer.
Yeah. My lager's only 4.3, so I'm starting off light as well.
Yeah, but I heard what you got coming, and that's not. But also, what we got coming is Daniel Fisher, Dan on Tap. He is a friend of the stream. He's almost here every week with us, heckling us and telling us the things that we don't know about. He's almost like our fact checker. He is a fact checker on Wednesdays when you do your stream with our friend Renee. Yeah. That's too big of an advantage.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. You have gravity on your side for it. So if you could just get that ball rolling.
Pun intended, because that dude was kind of a roly-poly guy. As a roly-poly guy, say that dude's a roly-poly guy. Right. And that's not a great place to pick a fight either, is the stairs. Like Jeff said, because then, yeah. So anyway, Daniel on Tap. I met him at a beer bloggers conference, which is now defunct, unfortunately. And ever since then, we've been friends. And he's been a friend of the stream. He has his own stream. And let's get that out here. Let's get that up here. Watch OK Please is his podcast where he talks pretty much nothing but TV shows, Doug. So that is your shit, brah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to really catch it. I haven't caught up on that as much lately. I've been in some other things, so I need to catch up on that.
Well, my first question for Dan, since everybody knows him, we'll get into who he is. Dan, here you go. Welcome, Dan.
Yay.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers to you too, sir.
It's only TV shows, right? Or is it movies?
No, we do movies too. Okay. But I think predominantly we do a lot of TV shows. I'd say it's about like 70-30 right now. TV to movie, I think. And
the latest one that dropped, what were y'all talking about?
Oh yeah, so the very latest one basically that just dropped was of course the BC Boys feedback. The BC Boys story was Spike Jonze. He famously also did the Sabotage music video, amongst many other music videos as well. But he also did this kind of adaptation of the memoir that the remaining two boys had written and whatnot. So that we just did the feedback on that. So it was very interesting to hear what Nia and Jason had to say about that. So it was again, I really enjoyed watching. It was one of the first things. I think that was the first thing I ever watched in Apple Plus. Actually, was that I call it a video memoir. People might say it's like a pseudo biopic or documentary, but video memoir just feels like a better fit. We have a whole discussion about that actually on the feedback section about what are we calling this? So
Vidmoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming up, we have a couple of interesting things that are coming up. Down the pike. Basically, we actually have a movie is actually going to be the next one, and it's a movie that many people out there would have definitely seen, but for some reason Nia and I never did because we just avoided it like the plague. and you might be familiar with this as a semi-autobiographical piece from Channing Tatum, and that is, of course, the one, the only Magic Mike.
Ooh.
So that pitch is coming next week. And it's very interesting, to say the least, and then our feedback is even more interesting after that. So,
because normally you do like close to current stuff. Is that what
right.
you're saying?
We do a lot of, I think a lot of, sometimes we do throwbacks, like that. I mean, I think a lot of stuff I watched was from like 2020, in that regard, that I've recently pitched and whatnot. So the more recent stuff, like I think the most, timely thing we ever did was The Bear, when that dropped earlier this year. That was probably the most timely thing we ever did. We dropped the review and the feedback, I think within 2 weeks after it originally dropped on Hulu. So that was like the most recent thing we ever kind of did. But the stars all aligned in that regard, I think, and how it happened.
That was a great show, though. So that was worth being quick on.
Oh yeah, I mean, all three of us finished it. So
yeah, is that typical? Do you guys all finish? Is it not common?
No, I wouldn't say it's 100% common. For example, like I'm committed to. I have like a couple episodes left of Severance, for example. So once I finish Severance, all three of us would have finished Severance.
Severance was fucking awesome. That was my favorite show last year.
Yeah. So yeah, but I was busy editing, so I didn't have a lot of time to catch up on some stuff this week. But I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to catch up on some more stuff, especially with the longer weekend for me. So
sorry, Greg.
All right. No worries. I figure we just play the fucking stupid transition early.
We're talking about it.
I figure it's going to be the whole. Right, I figure it's going to be the whole damn show. So
hell yeah, man.
That gives us permission to just go wherever we're. So Doug, I don't know if you want to jump on here quick. Yeah. We're going to see what Dan's doing, and also that's probably going to be a good preview, and we can maybe get some things out of Dan about what's coming up on the podcast before it comes out. But Doug, you have something here. What is this?
This is Kaleidoscope. It's on Netflix. This is a show where it's a heist show, except apparently, now I am not a person who would do this. You can watch the episodes and you could actually, if you watch it through and then you watch the episodes back in any order, every one of them have clues to the end. So it's like, but each one is each episode's a different color. I think I want to say it's 5 or 6 episodes. It's not long. Giancarlo Esposito, of course, of Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. I think it's Breaking Bad. He was in that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the main dude there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was
also Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, and also in The Boys as well. So he's a busy man.
He's a nasty villain.
Oh, and supposedly, rumor has it that he was in talks to join the MCU.
That would work. He'd be good in that.
There are rumors about doing a change in traditional casting with specifically for him. They were talking about him doing Charles Xavier.
Wow! Instead of
they were talking about him and then doing having someone else, do a Magneto combo, and as opposed to like in the lore, if you know about Magneto and Xavier, Magneto obviously was was afflicted by the Holocaust, obviously, and they said, well, why don't we do something a little bit different and move it from the Holocaust and move it forward just a little bit, and that's kind of like what they were talking through. Is what these are just rumors, mind you. This is not actually anyone from Marvel saying anything, but that's the rumors that were coming through the ground a couple months ago. But I don't know if that's actually still happening at this point.
Is he the villain, Doug?
No, he's the main character. But speaking of The Boys, the guy here that I have my mouse going over, that guy's face, he's not
Huey.
The Boy. It's not Huey.
It looks like Huey from this angle. That's funny.
But apparently that's not him. Well, maybe it is. Let me look at the thing.
No.
You don't guys want to see my chat or my search history, so I'm not going to pull that up right now.
It's not Jack Quaid apparently. So
no, it's there's Jack Quaid, but I thought that was Jack Quaid.
Yeah,
it looks.
I can't see. It's not very focused here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Wait, Doug. So you say you don't have to watch these shows in order? Is that what I heard?
No, you do. But no, the guy that's playing him. is this dude, Peter Mark Kendall.
Huh, interesting.
They look a lot alike, but yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, again, from this, zoom out, we could never tell probably.
Yeah, but I'm saying it looked a lot like Huey. I thought that's who it was at first, but no, it's not. So yeah, this is fun. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I like how it's going because it's a $7 billion heist. That's a lot of
Wow.
money. It reminds me if you took what did I tell my wife? It was like Ocean's 11 and some other heist thing, but like you blended them together. Like
Money Heist, also on Netflix.
Or
no,
like
not
Heat.
no money.
Remember
No,
Heat?
no, it's not that. It's not that heavy. It's kind of funny. So that's why
Okay.
it reminded me a lot of Ocean's 11, where they would interject humor throughout it, but it's not
Got
filmed not at all filmed in like the Soderbergh
Alright.
style at all.
Right.
But yeah,
All right.
I think like I said, it's only like 5 or 6 episodes. So I hope to finish that this weekend. But yeah, it's been fun
Cool.
so far.
Don't binge. Don't watch
mentally
2 in a row,
noted.
Doug. You might don't watch 2 in a row. It might. Whatever.
I did watch the first 2 episodes right in a row, and then I was like, yeah, that's enough. So it's 'cause I just can't do the Greg and be like, yeah. Picking up binge. Are you caught up on The Circle, Greg?
Haven't watched it.
Yeah, there's 12 episodes out now, so you better get to it.
Okay. It's my time. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the warning.
The finale comes out next week, so I would suggest.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I've heard some things about it, so yeah, it's about time.
It's
Dan,
silly.
what are you watching?
So aside from all my assignments, basically, there's
Wait.
certain friend.
I'm sorry. Doug, we never asked him what he's drinking. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Oh.
What's in your glass? Yeah,
I just finished my first one actually, so I'm about to go do a second one. This is first one was Comeback Kolsch from Return Brewing up in Hudson.
Oh,
Simple, 4.2%, simple, like local ingredients, New York State, and it was super fresh and delicious. Can't complain. Haven't been there yet. Hudson's not too far away from if you're staying in and around Hunter, it's not too far away from there, so it wouldn't be a bad stop at some point. But I'm pouring another one here who actually just opened up an upstate location, actually not too recently, who's also one of the New York farm breweries that exists out there. And this is a Strong Rope. I mean, they're in Brooklyn, and their Red Hook location has unbelievably gorgeous views of the city. So I go obviously preferably in warmer weather. But yeah, this is their Pilsner that they made. I have the name of it just here. It's Vander Saal, and that's I think it's a historical reference. I can't remember what it is. I have to look that up momentarily. But yeah, it's again New York State ingredients.
Nice.
So it's all New York, and I'm super fluffy head. So I'm.
Yeah, I mean that's a really lovely color for a Pilsner.
Yeah, it's a nice color for a Pilsner.
If you would have told me that was that doesn't look like a Pilsner to me because of the darkness, but yeah, that looks good.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's Pilsner inspired. It's not like it's like because the thing people call things Pilsner. I think we need our other sister ones up in this joint for this one, but yeah,
the style guide.
Yeah, style. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's quintessentially not close to either the German or Czech style. It's kind of like an American take on it because it's American hops. It's not you mentioned before you mentioned Saaz and Tettnanger as 2 to 3 hops, which are noble hops. And Saaz usually in the Czech style Pilsner, and then Tettnanger or Hallertau Mittelfrüh is truly in the German style one. So it's kind of so it's interesting how but this is obviously looking like more like a 2-row, like New York 2-row or 6-row, and then malt, and then I'm no idea what the hops are there.
Spalt and Hallertau, the other 2 noble hops.
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't remember the first one. That's
boom.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this. I mean, so far, I have not had a bad beer from Strong Rope ever.
I've never heard of them, but man, I want to try them. So.
Yeah, so they have. They have the Red Hook location, the upstate location. I can't remember which town it's in, and then they also have a barrel program in their main spot as well. So they're depending upon when and if we can do the New York trip at some point. We'll have to kind of dice up and change up a few things in that regard. But yeah, ironically enough, speaking of breweries in the area, we had a brand new brewery open up that took over the old Pollinaire space on the Bowery here in East Village, and they opened up. They had a big feature in one of the big food magazines because they have a mostly vegan centric menu, and all of a sudden, boom, they're closed. So they were literally open for maybe like what 10, 11 months tops. So it's like they were going to be one of our stops on the pub crawl for dinner probably, and just now they're gone.
The Strong Rope does have a location apparently in Gowanus, which is up in the
Gowanus, yeah.
Gowanus. But that's closed for the season apparently. So
yes, yeah. Again, that's. But I hear that's very picturesque up there as well.
Yeah, and Jeff's right. And Jeff's kind of a stickler for styles, so it's he's like kind of wants to see them stick to the actual style. So
yeah.
At least, I mean, not that he's not willing to go out of there, but he seems a lot more of like, this isn't really the style. Yeah.
And tasting, is one thing. If this is being, competed against, that's a whole other kind of,
So Dan, what are you watching?
So I mean, I stick with a lot of franchises, honestly, for a lot of the bulk of my watching. So I do like, so if it's Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and then certain other smaller properties, I stick with that. So let's say most recently, I finished off Willow, the new TV series on Disney Plus, and I also I've been catching. Bad Batch has 3 episodes. This is season 2 of Bad Batch. It's an animated Star Wars and whatnot. And so those are the 2 that I've kind of looked at this past week. More recently, I pitched a while ago on the show Pennyworth, which is a DC property that and it's currently airing on HBO Max, and they just finished up season 3. And I just finished that up a little while ago as well. But again, a lot of those tend to go around there, and I'm still watching lots of anime on the side too. So and that's I got sucked into Boruto. I'm still watching My Hero Academia, like some of these bigger titles, obviously. And there's a couple things coming out that I'm looking forward to. Bungo Stray Dogs season 4 is just started dropping. That's another anime one. So again, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And also, I just finished up season 1 of the new Mobile Suit Gundam series. And that was super interesting. Again, a total detour. It kind of was an amalgamation of kind of a lot of other Gundam series out there, because Gundam in Japan is to what like franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek are to the rest of the world. Like Gundam is like life in Japan. Ever since it debuted in April '79, it's older than me technically. So it's crazy how that works out. But yeah, I'm with Doug. And Doug mentioned before how he's not he doesn't always catch up on certain things here or there, and I'm struggling with the same thing. I think that I'm worried about actually content fatigue. That's the thing that I'm constantly kind of concerned about, because like I consume TV shows, movies when I can make it out to the theater, podcasts, live streams like this, for example, and all the other many YouTubers and people I follow out there. And it's like in between that and editing, managing the kids, managing the apartment here. And I have some stories about the apartment that, I don't know if I want to talk about because I might get too angry, about that. But I mean, long story short is that there is a very good possibility the next time I'm on here, this background will be very different. Because I won't be here.
Oh, okay. So you're moving. It's not moving, not like you're remodeling or painting or something. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, the latest bit. Well, I've been out with. So first world problem here. I've been out with out without a dishwasher since December 20th, and because of various different horrible things that Best Buy can and can't do apparently for delivery, that my landlord's taking care of it. Long story short, but yeah. But latest thing, possible gas leak in my building. I will have no gas for my kitchen, so no stove, no oven, until further notice. So,
you have a hot plate at least?
We have a griddler for now, but we have a hot plate. We have a hot plate on order. It's coming in, so it should be at any moment now. I
mean, that sucks, but at least you can make do with that until they figure that shit out. Hopefully, in short order.
Yeah. I mean, no. Again, unfortunately. The irony is that I don't want to make this too much of a big deal, but again, apparently when this kind of thing has happened, it's not just my floor; it's the entire building here. So it's like they have to start ripping apart walls. They have to start doing crazy, crazy stuff, and this could take months.
Oh.
So, but
Yikes.
anyway, but I think that the content fatigue is real though, like I was saying before, and I'm sure that everyone feels that. Again, it doesn't matter if you watch NFL, NBA, NHL, tiddlywinks. It doesn't really matter what you watch. You could
There's a
literally get
million
sucked
options.
into whatever it is and just not have any time for anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doug.
I'm gonna pop open a second beer.
Woohoo!
Oh, I wanted to hear you about content fatigue.
No, while I do that, but content fatigue is a thing because it's like there's so much shit to consume. There's
Right.
I'm like when I'm working, I'm listening to podcasts, and that's when I generally catch up on podcasts. My wife will listen to some podcasts, but while she's doing chores. That's how she does it. And when she's working, see, like my setup is here. I'm actually in a little room off the kitchen, so like I'm listening to podcasts. My wife is out in the living room working, and she has stuff on in the background. And I don't understand how she watches like that because I'm partially deaf. So even with I need subtitles, I can't just like absently watch stuff because I need to be paying attention. But she can. That's just how she works. So, but there's so much to like. I almost get a little paralyzed at times with just the choices of stuff to watch.
Yes.
Like, and the other thing is like if Jill and I are trying to figure out something to watch together, that makes it more challenging because our tastes are different. And like it's a real challenge sometimes. So yeah.
And then try having a weekly co-host like him, Dan, who like every week he has like something new and fucking crazy and cool that he's watching. Yep. And like I consume content a lot slower than Doug, so then keeping up with Doug is just impossible. But
that's because there's so much shit to watch, dude. There's so many good things.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's hard to really keep track, and not only that, which Dan, I think we should talk about in a bit, is the idea of like, there's good stuff that comes out, and if it doesn't get crazy viewership right away, they're now starting to strip it out, not even giving it a chance. So yeah, there's something to be talked about with that with streaming. But
and that's one of Netflix's biggest complaints, isn't it?
Ooh,
Speaking of a complaint.
Wow.
Oh no.
There you go.
We're not complaining.
Go big or go home, man. Go big or home.
We might have
this is like a peanut butter bomb on the nose. Like it's like woo, like boozy peanut butter bomb. So yeah. Poured into Greg's favorite glass,
But that's the one thing I see people bitch about Netflix is they canceled my favorite show.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. Do you have any insight, Dan, on how they do that, or is it just all subjective, or what's going on? Is there a panel?
Yeah. Well, again, I think every streaming service has like a different kind of idea. I think HBO Discovery Max, you kind of have to throw out the window right now because I have no idea what they're doing. But other than, I feel like, I feel like. Okay, well, Zaslav apparently his big thing is think about the mother-in-law in the room. Think about what she would want to watch. So apparently, he's still focused on the mother-in-laws. I don't know what. Again, I could make a pornography related reference here that he maybe has an obsession. I don't know, but anyway, but yeah, I mean, I think that Netflix does have a formula. I think that it's about there's a couple of metrics I'm guessing that they're using that I don't know, like if they're not publicized, obviously, but it's a combination of not just viewer counts, like how popular it is, volume wise, but it also has to do with how much of the content is consumed within a certain period of time after it drops. And then also combined with that, if they have marketing spend and they're buying ads, Twitter, Facebook, etc., to promote that, then they have to say, okay, well, what is the approximate referral from, say, those sources as it relates to how we're spending and how we're getting viewer numbers up in that regard.
It's kind of like the Shark Tank, how much you pay for your customers kind of angle on that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, there's certain things and certain platforms think that they spend so much money on, right? And like, there's no possible way that any amount of viewership could possibly outweigh, crazy budgets like that, right? And so I think Netflix, for example, can do a lot of low budget stuff, and then if it all of a sudden takes off, then the net value of that property just is that skyrockets. And I
It's
think
kind
that
of
yeah,
it's kind of like the Blumhouse horror model. Blumhouse makes boatloads of just low budget horror movies, and if one of them takes off, great. Like they make movies for next to nothing, comparatively speaking, and they put out tons of content. But if something hits, it's a huge amount of profit. So like,
right.
yeah, I think Netflix,
Well,
not on that
and-
scale, they can't
yeah.
go that small, but I think
Right.
they can do that a little better. Yeah.
Well, I think that also Netflix also like sees they probably talk with the creators and they say, okay, well, do you feel comfortable with their approach, with their what they're thinking? I think that they do a little bit of filtering before they decide, okay, we're gonna put money down this, obviously, and I think that's part of it. Like it could this be a thing? Could this be popular? Yes or no? But then again, I think Doug, I think way back when, I think you talked about Sense8.
Oh, I love that show.
So, and again, this is a great. Again, my wife adored that show as well,
Mhm.
and yet basically there was such like because it didn't get super critical acclaim above what it got. They were very quick to axe that
Yeah,
or
'cause
any
that
possibility of future projects. Yeah,
yeah, that only had like 3 seasons, and unfortunately, the thing is there's also the backlash because it was very pro LGBTQ
right.
in casting and in storyline and everything, and it was done by one of the Wachowski sisters. I'm mispronouncing
Right.
it. Which they they did The Matrix, so like that was like their pull was like Lana Wachowski was the one who did
Yep.
Sense8, and it they cast like the first lead as a trans woman lead, I think, in a major show, and like
Right.
it was a great fucking show, and
Mhm.
I'm kind of sad that they didn't have more, but that's streaming is a weird platform, weird way. They don't really know how to monetize it right. Even
Mhm.
still now, we're what? How many years are we in? 8, 10 years of streaming at this point, and
Right.
they still don't know how to monetize it. So like,
Mhm.
not really. And
No.
the thing is that's the whole capitalist game. Instead of doing shit for art, like when you see a studio like A24, which does all these kind of artsy things that are great. Now they put money into it, but they make money off it. I mean, they just had Everything Everywhere All at Once, which like won a whole
Right.
bunch of awards. That was a great fucking movie. That was my favorite movie last
We're
year.
winning now too.
Yeah, and seeing like some of the actors and actresses winning from that movie, but like taking swings like that. The problem is like, and people always blame like the Marvel stuff. Oh, it's all superhero movies. It's not all superhero movies. There's not actually not a lot of superhero movies. There's not.
Right.
It's the thing is it's like putting out good movies. How do you get heard above the din of all the content? That's
Mhm.
the problem. How do you make inroads into that? I don't know.
Exactly. No, I totally agree, and I think this is going to be the new challenge. I mean, because way back in the day, when I was I was out of college in the early 2000s, basically, and I talked with a lot of people, and about the concept that we're going to see. I said at some point in the future, we're going to see kind of this proliferation of or adding to one's own vertical, where basically companies will eventually get to a point basically where they're going to start making their own content or at least buying or sponsoring their own content and owning more of this vertical with regards to entertainment, right? And it's literally happening before my eyes, but it's not happening or the way that I expected it to. I was thinking, okay, unilaterally, let's say Netflix or Apple starts making content and all of a sudden boom, they're owning that vertical, right? And yet at the same time now there's still a lot of like friction even in that process with regards to how much stuff costs, how much you're paying your actors or your directors or whatever the case is. It's a whole just I can't wrap my head around that economically. Because because there's owning an intellectual property is a certain value. It's on their accounting books obviously, but at the same time it's like, well, how do you quantify that a show is fully successful?
Yeah, I don't know. Greg?
Mhm.
Greg's like, yeah.
It's bewildering. So
Sorry, it's a lot.
What is that?
No, it's a lot. I'm just saying.
yeah.
And what is also a lot, and why I have my glasses on, is this. second
Ooh.
helping from our friends at Venture Brewing.
Adventure. Nice.
This is, hold on, Doug. A dark saison aged in second use imperial stout barrels, re-fermented on Shamborican grape must.
Wow.
Wow.
That is-
That's the kind of shit I would buy because I was like, that
Yes.
sounds fucking weird. Give me that.
Yeah, it's
The
That
Chamborian?
sounds amazing, man.
Shamborian or yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Because I'm thinking of
Chambor,
like Chambord is what I'm thinking. Like the liqueur Chambord is what I'm
Yeah.
like picturing.
I get those ads all the time on Hulu. It's crazy.
yeah. So this is you can taste the saison. The imperial stout part is really subtle, but it's there,
Mhm.
and the grapes are there at the end, and it's fucking complex and weird, but it's pretty good at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be something I would love to try.
So I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that's kind of like you need like a kind of a rustic poultry dish. I'm thinking tagine for that.
Ooh, tagine. Yeah.
But something.
Well-
this is weird.
Weird isn't necessarily bad,
Wait,
right?
yeah. Well,
No,
grape
I-
must.
no,
Yeah,
it's so
grape must
bad.
is very interesting.
Yeah, what's up, Dan? About grape must?
No, grape must is very interesting because didn't Dogfish did at least one or two beers of grape must. I'm pretty sure that from what I recall, and I know that Trillium, they did a bunch of beers that they patterned after. They used must from two different wine grapes. And a couple of their beers is too. And again, I agree with you. It's a different type of flavor and mouthfeel that it's just it took me completely off guard when I had it.
Yeah, it's
Dogfish Head did a variant of their 60-minute IPA called 61, which had Syrah grape must.
That's what I was thinking about. 61. Yep, that's it. That's
And
what I
it
was
looks
thinking of.
and Noble Rot also has some grapes in it, but it's not
Oh.
grape must.
Right. Noble Rod. I forgot about that beer too. I had that at a beer event festival.
Yeah, and Mixed Media, which was like kind of an offshoot, they only did a very short run of, also had grape must.
Oh yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah, distantly.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I only have one of these, or I would send one of y'all ways because when I went to Venture last, Simon told me I could take one of each, so I did.
Okay.
Thanks, Simon.
Yeah.
We gotta have that back on.
Pretty fun one. That was my second one. So
What was the
cool.
what was the ABV on that? Out of curiosity,
Simon doesn't tell us because they don't do that.
Simon doesn't
So-
say.
Simon does not say. Look at that, man. Simon never says, and I was giving shit for it, but I'm gonna find out via Untapped. Let's see what they say here. But
Yeah, I would say it's good. Yeah.
so Daniel, you talk about the fatigue. So is that how you talk about how you stay in big brains? Is that how you narrow down what you're gonna pitch to your boys on Watch OK?
So what we basically do is we have a spreadsheet, and this is
Of course you do.
again, of course we do. So we have a spreadsheet basically which we constantly are filling, and every time we pitch something, we mark it, and if someone has watched something, we strike it through to make sure we don't pitch that, obviously. And so we're constantly refreshing this list. So it's like every week or two, we might drop something new on there that we were watching. Oh, I think I might want to pitch this later. And this way, it gives them an opportunity to respond and say, yes, I watched this. Yes, I didn't watch it. And if I don't hear from them, say within a couple weeks, I'll we'll message them internally and say, hey, you just want to make sure you haven't watched this before. And they'll say yes or no. And if it's no, they haven't watched it, then it goes into the content calendar. So we schedule weeks, if not months out at this point. But I think one thing I did want to talk about, because last time I was on here about a year ago, we were still using the old content format, whereby we would have the feedback from the previous week's pitch and then also a new pitch. And basically, I have to go back and just double check what episode it flipped on. It flipped on episode 39. So after 38 was the last episode using the old format, which was the Hellstrom feedback and the a pitch of Dead Like Me, which is from a guest and whatnot. And so following that episode, we flipped to a format where we're only doing a single piece of content per episode. And so there was two reasons for this. A, obviously most people have a smaller attention span, so we wanted to make the episodes a little bit shorter. And then secondarily speaking on it, there was also some feedback from people that they wanted to be able to pick and choose what they wanted to listen to. So if I listened to the pitch and I went and watched something, they want to be able to go and pick out an episode. And I want to pull this feedback and just listen to that feedback.
Mm.
And then thirdly, of course, is production, because obviously when you're editing, episodes that range from say 18 minutes to 65 minutes, basically, there's the amount of production time that you require. So if you have to do two different pieces, a pitch and a feedback every week, I mean, unless we pre-record, extensively, it's kind of hard to be fully ahead of yourself and be able to accommodate vacations, life changes, that kind of thing. So, so again, so now we're on a schedule with only one piece of content per week. It gives us infinitely more flexibility. Say, okay, I got COVID this week, or I got flu this week, or I have to take the kids someplace. Flexibility. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's a lot of people to talk about. Podcasters, they sometimes will give up, or they just won't post anything. They'll just like say, okay, well, life happened, so I'm not posting. And and I think that even when we're off, we posted hiatus messages because we want to make sure people tell people, hey, life happens, we're not here.
Right.
The thing is for podcasts, I think it is consistency. If you go, I'm coming out and this is my episodes and they're going to come out this time. And I think a lot of people will tell you that if you're going to podcast, you bank several episodes of whatever you can, something that's maybe a little bit evergreen. So you have it to roll out in case life happens, because life does fucking happen. I mean, yeah.
We're all still getting used to this digital stuff. Y'all were just talking about how corporations are still getting used to monetizing it, and I was thinking and laughing that the whole, let's not go down the whole Elon Twitter rabbit hole, but part of Twitter's problems have always been how they monetize on it. Even before Elon was even in the picture, now it's even more of an issue. It's even an issue now because Elon's made so much shit public. But I mean, even a platform like Twitter that's been around almost 20 years now, we're still having a hard time. But I think part of what as far as the consumer part, there's still a level that Doug, I believe that we want structure. If I remember correctly, we had Art Eddie on, and I don't know if it was this or something else, and he was talking about, look, man, I like the weekly format. Like, I like if you tell me that my favorite show comes out on Wednesday at 9:30. I want to be there at Wednesday at 9:30 watching it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, fuck that. You wait until they're all done, and then you binge them. So, like, you know what I mean?
I remember
like,
that episode, man. I remember that stream.
Right. So catering to those kind of two people, Dan, I'm sure is difficult, and I'm sure you have to just cut bait at some point. And I think Netflix does, because they just released, like Doug said, The Circle, they're going to release the last 4 or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to wait.
Right, and then they're going to wait 2 weeks to do like the finale and the after talk and all that shit. But there's still a level though that Doug knows that the Ring, comes out Wednesday at 9 a.m. or whatever it is, and we all know those times. Remember, Doug, I waited up until 2 a.m. to watch Ozark when it first came out. I was already at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. So, there's that angle it's really, really
refresh.
Right. But it must be really tough for them on top of the advertising on, how to deliver these things. And I seen The Mandalorian is one that everybody loves who watches it. That came out, one episode per week, blah, blah, blah. And people like Art Eddie love that shit. That shit would just drive me up a damn wall, because I just be like, no, I don't, you know what I mean? But on some level, there are things that I will fall into, whatever, like my Peaky Blinders or whatever, that came out, I was on it. And then no matter, whenever time they released it, I was there. So if they released it at 2 a.m., I was there at 2 a.m., ready to watch 2 of them before I fell asleep. So yeah, it's tough, man. It must be really tough for them to deliver the content to all of us who want different shit. If you polled all of us, Like I'm probably on the extreme, and I think Doug's more of a hybrid. Doug will binge, but it's only in like certain special little areas or times or shows, or you know what I mean. So it must be really difficult for them to mitigate that.
Mhm.
It really must. So I don't know if that's a question or statement, but that's
No,
just
no,
another part of this whole digital layout where it's just crazy.
So are you a hybrid, Doug?
I think it really depends on the show. Um,
Mm.
if it's something with a lot of psychological shit, I can binge watch that stuff. I can binge watch that because I like that because it tickles my brain the right way. Something
Yeah.
like The Circle is on. That is actually something that I can have on and I can walk away and I can come back and what happened? Blah blah blah. And then I don't feel because I'm not as heavily invested in something like that. Now the thing is, there's something like when Greg and I, when we watched season 2 of Love Is Blind. That shit was insane, and you couldn't miss bits of it because the people were so fucking fucked up. Like, I'm sorry, that was like fucked up TV watching to watch these people just stumble through this fucking thing, and I was like, I can't like any other kind of reality show. I can kind of walk in, walk out, and it's okay. But if it's something that requires me to really pay attention, like, I think my all-time favorite like binge thing was Black Mirror. I fucking love that show. I would just, when those things came out, I watched as many of those things. And Love, Death, and Robots is like that too. Was it Love, Death, and Robots? Yeah. Not
Yep.
Love. And
I didn't, dude, I'm like so far behind on that. I was going to pitch season 1 of that way back when. And I only got I got 3/4 way through season 2 because I was distracted for something. I can't remember what happened. And then the new season dropped. And I'm like, oh crap. Yeah. I am so far behind that.
That last season, the last episode of last season is the best episode of that show by a mile. It is. Okay. It doesn't even look animated. That's the thing. The animation on it. There's bits of it that do look animated, but very small bits. All of it looks like it's fucking live action. That's how fucking amazing that particular episode is. And there's no words spoken in it.
See, that's even more impressive.
That's a 20-minute episode where no words are spoken. And it was fucking amazing.
Again, no need for subtitles, no need for, dubbing, just pure. Again, pictures can tell a lot, honestly, if you do it right.
Mm-hmm. And even God, I can't remember the guy. Not David Fincher. Is it David Fincher? He did an episode of that on that season, and that episode was pretty cool. But it wasn't. That was the longest episode they ever did, and it was 20 minutes. That's a great thing about that show, Greg. Greg, that is the bite-sized show you would love because there's not the longest episode is 20 minutes, and there's episodes as short as 7, and it's just right through.
Sweet.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you guys. I'm also show specific as well. So I feel you, Doug. I mean, I feel like there's some stuff like, that like, I feel like, right. So for example, Disney's kind of flipped a little bit for Bad Batch I mentioned before, right? Or Star Wars animated. So before they did like the first 2 episodes as kind of a intro for the first season, then 1 episode per week, and then till through the finale. And then this time they're doing 2 episodes at the beginning, 2 episodes in the middle, and 2 episodes of the finale, and single episodes in between. So they're trying to kind of do more of a hybrid model for that release for an animated show, which is like, let's be honest, it's really only 20 minutes of content, honestly, because it's made for TV as if it will be on TV. So I don't know, the interesting model, but I think I don't know. I feel like some stuff it would have been better. Like again, Kenobi, very controversial, series on Disney Plus. A lot of people said if it was fully binge, it probably would have been better than watching it every week. But the Star Wars community is
finicky.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Greg and I said the same word at the exact same time. Finicky.
Finicky. Yes.
Yes. I mean, every single person you talk to will be different. Right. It's not canon. Oh, but it was Legends. Sorry.
There's some wonderful people in that group, but they're shouted out by the crazies. That's all I got.
They are.
They really are. They can't be all that crazy. They just can't. And I
Hey,
saw.
Daniel,
You gonna
you
say
poured
that?
another one?
I did actually.
Yeah, I love what
Sorry.
you pour.
So this is a Pugnacious Pale Ale. This is from the fine folks over at Fifth Hammer.
Love it.
Fifth
Doug, you gotta
Hammer, I
love
like
that.
them. I like them. I like them a lot. Fifth Hammer.
Doug,
Yeah.
you gotta love that can art. You
I do.
got
Yeah.
it.
I do.
So Chris Kuzme, he's and his wife basically they're two fixtures in the NYC community. Chris Kuzme was one of the kind of most passionate, biggest people in the homebrew scene for the longest time. Well before he was he and his wife did Fifth Hammer, and they have a new kid actually. So congratulations to them for this past
Hey,
year. They just
congrats.
have that. So
good luck keeping your brewery up with all that shit going on. Ugh.
I know, but again, they're pretty family friendly as long as you keep the kids away from certain areas of the brewery over there in Long Island City. But but they actually do a lot of music. He's actually an incredible saxophone player, Chris Kuzme. So if you ever catch, every once in a while, he and his crew will play at the brewery. So that's a cool thing to have. I haven't been there live, but I'd love to check it out.
Is he as good as the saxophonist in the Lost Boys movie?
Ooh, that's tough, man.
But
There's this guy on TikTok, Karsten something or other. His whole shtick is that he adds unnecessary sax solos to various songs out there, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, and
I love that guy.
good.
Yeah, love that guy.
So real quick, 11%, Doug.
Holy
11? Does it taste like 11?
No.
That's
holy.
dangerous.
No, there's a little bit of a boozy ending of that, but yeah, 11%.
It's a farmhouse saison at 11%.
Yeah.
But,
Thanks, Simon, for the warning. Thanks for the warning too in the label.
Just drink it. Just drink it.
Right.
But can I just point out that on the screen there, the average rating was 4.11, and for a saison, that's really high.
Yeah.
Because honestly, people don't I'd say I hate to say it, but all the Untapped fanboys out there that are all into your hoppy beers, they would rarely give something above a 4 if it's not an IPA or hoppy beer. So the fact that it's 4.11, it says a lot, man. So
right. Maybe it's the barrel aged part because they love barrel aged too.
That's true.
That's true. Maybe it's they slipped that in there. But yeah. So then before we move on, y'all, or I don't know if we're ever going to move on. I saw this graphic and I thought it was amusing for a couple of the reasons, but it's really on point to what we're talking about. So remember those days where we're cutting the cable. We don't want all these. We don't want all these stations. And now we have all these. Now, my first question is, where can you get cable for $80? But anyway, that aside,
you can't. You can't.
Right. But it was interesting to see them all lined up here about how much. I'm pretty sure that's pretty accurate. I mean, I know there's tiers. I got it. But I think that's pretty accurate as far as how much it costs. So I just wanted to get y'all comments on, because, so to me, Disney at these prices, Disney Plus seems not like a value. And Apple TV seems like a big value. So maybe I'm wrong. Because I don't think Apple has the catalog that those others do. But they're
building it.
Quality to me outweighs the quantity over on Apple. And I don't have Apple, but y'all rant and rave about Severance, and I mean we can go down the list of the things that I've heard on there. Ted Lasso. We got a couple of movies that were just bangers. The movie of the year last year was from Apple TV. The deaf one. So then, yeah. So I just wanted to get y'all remarks. Starting with Dan on this graphic and
Disney is rolling out a cheaper version that will feature ads.
Just tiers,
Yeah, so you can get that for lower if you really wanted to. For me, it's I already have Prime just because of necessity where we are in the city when we need stuff on short notice. But I think that I know Netflix is beginning to start cutting people off from the password sharing.
Yep.
But that's kind of what we really do, honestly. So almost everything that's here is shared in some way, some capacities. For example, I have Peacock, Paramount, Netflix share with me, but I personally have HBO Max, Disney, and Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. So, so and Prime. So it's like I'm not paying the full 89, but I'm probably somewhere in the middle there as far as what I pay per month. So I think that's the thing. It's like, well, if they start cracking down like legitimately, saying you can only watch it, from these IP addresses or where the case is, then it's going to drastically change if people are doing the full 89 or full large things. But I've seen a lot of people. There's a couple content creators I follow, like Trinity over Second Street Marvel, for example. He is like, okay, I'm done with Disney Plus. He's cut it out entirely, so he's only down to maybe like 2 streaming services at most. And like again, because he's made a decision, I'm not enjoying. He doesn't enjoy a lot of the Marvel content that came out this year on Disney Plus, and so he's decided he's like, okay, I'm done. I'll watch it when I feel like watching it. So again, and that's fine. Everyone feels comfortable with the content that they like, and if they don't like what a specific people are doing, like say if Netflix is putting on garbage at some point, you might drop Netflix. So it all depends. So I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, again, this is what I was talking about before. The media, proliferation. Again, I was hoping at some point that it would become, more cost effective, but then cable has been forced to compete. So it's at some point it's going to be a point basically where, what can we do to get the best content out there at the cheapest price? That's going to basically be the war that we're looking at here, I think.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Hulu is not included in that.
Well, because Hulu is it's an amalgamation of various different networks. Because even though that Disney has a part in that, and other networks, FX, there's so many networks that are part of that. So until we're at a point where cable is no more, and it all just becomes I'd say data distribution companies. So basically, you don't have an internet service provider. It's just a data service provider, if you will, because you need a connection to the net. Until it only becomes that and not about the triple play with your phone, your internet, and your TV. Until we get to that point where it's where the media companies have fully absorbed that portion of the stream, if you will, of the vertical stream. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen. So, yeah. Jerry brought up a good point there about Roku channel too.
Yeah, and Roku we have for one of our things, but I still like for streaming services. Here's a question for both of you: How do you get your streaming service? Do you use Roku? Like, do you use? All right, that's a good question.
Oh, good point, Callisto. Yeah,
yep. Do you pull it so for downstairs? I have my Xbox, and that's where I download all the apps, and I use that as my source to have all my apps on. What do you use a smart TV? Like, we don't use a smart TV. We have a smart TV. We don't use it because my wife hates those things because she feels like they're listening all the time, which is why we don't have an Alexa or any of that shit. So we don't have that. Do you guys use smart TV technology? What do you use for all that stuff? Dan, you've heard.
All right. Yeah. So, depending on the content, if it's something I want to watch on the big screen, or if it has subtitles, like for anime, I prefer to watch that on at least my laptop screen or my larger monitor, or on the big, or I will AirPlay to the big TV. I have a super old Apple TV I have to replace because it pretty much can't do anything anymore. I can't even mirror it sometimes. So I would watch more stuff on the big TV if that was the case. But my TV is literally like, I don't know, 11, 12 years old at least. So it's like I have to get a new one at some point, but it's still working perfectly fine, so I can't justify it yet. But
I have a 20-year-old Sony Aquos.
So there you go. So, yeah, but for example, like I'll watch like some stuff I'll just watch on my phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'll just watch my phone sometimes. Like for example, if I can take a real lunch break at work sometimes, which is very rare, I might pop on an episode of say like an animated series because it's 20 minutes. I finish that within my half an hour lunch break, and boom, I'm done. But yeah, other than that, again, it varies. I dare say I watch 85% of my content probably on my computer, and I watch it either in my laptop window or in my larger monitor that's above here. I'd say.
Craig?
Yeah, Roku. Or basically most of TVs have Roku. But I don't know, man. My kids aren't. I mean, they watch some of this stuff, but they're not big consumers. It's kind of weird. They would just love YouTube, and they would be fine. there's probably one or two that they would want out of here. Dan will be back, yo. No
Yeah.
worries. Um,
And,
but
I have a deal through my cell phone, which because Verizon has its fingers in all this stuff too as a cell
yeah,
phone thing. So I have Disney, Discovery,
I-
and I can't. And there's some other one that like for like $15 a month for all three. So like I get that. So I just think there's deals to be had. It's just they're doing it. And the other thing I have that is really fucking expensive is Sling. And the reason I use Sling is for basketball because it's cheaper than fucking Hulu Live Sports, which is crazy expensive. And I haven't and YouTube TV. I think Jeff Tepper said it was like $79. Now, if that's a month, that's too fucking much for my taste. But
yeah, and I don't know. To me, I would not. I am not going to, and I would not pay for Discovery Plus.
well, I do
But if
because we watch
well,
House Hunters like it's a job. It's
if I got it in a bundle, maybe, but I
yeah, and the thing is, I also like Food Network, and like sometimes I'll watch that stuff too. So it to me, the Discovery because it's like literally $5 a month for me. That is distraction TV of stuff I don't have to pay attention to. I can fuck around on my phone, and yeah, Clifto. Like I said, I don't really watch stuff on my computer. I really don't. The only time I watch stuff on my computer is if the TV downstairs is being used, and I'm upstairs and I want to watch something, and I generally have to watch stuff with headphones because of my hearing. So I'll watch it on my laptop there. I watched the movie Moonfall on my laptop, but I don't generally watch. I mean, that probably should have been watched on a big TV because
I was gonna say.
But it was something. I was trying to get some movies in for when we were talking to Whitney about movies of the year, and that was one I wanted to watch. Moonfall was fucking fun. I probably need to rewatch that on a big TV though. But
yeah, it made it number 5.
yeah.
Still
And
got
had
the list.
I watched it on a bigger TV, it might have been better than that. But like, it was still great. But like, I just don't do that. Yeah, there's the
There
whole
it
thing.
is. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's a friendly reminder of shit that I need to watch. Is what it is. Actually.
yeah, And you watched a few of those things from there. So yeah.
I watched Nope. I was trying to watch Top Gun. I'm going to watch that really soon.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that sometime, but that's gonna be a me watching. My wife hates Tom Cruise, so like I gotta watch that by myself.
And I'm going to get to Everything Everywhere all at once, maybe even tomorrow. But I have to get Showtime for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get Showtime and then just watch it and then cancel after the free trial.
There you go.
Which is another angle in all this. Is
and if you forget, you get charged for it.
Yeah,
you need to set it like a calendar reminder.
Right, and Art just dropped a reminder. If you have AT&T, looks like you can get HBO Max for free. So
that's cool.
So that's good. That's good to know. I mean, I got Verizon, but
yeah, I have Verizon as well. So
if you have AT&T cell phones or internet, that's a great deal because HBO Max has a lot of good. I know that they are going forward. They're a damn mess, and that's because of corporate. That's because of buying and selling, and all these people moving and having no consistency. It reminds me of my stupid football team, Doug. Where every 3 years we want to, regardless of how well they do, they want to fire the coach. And let's just do this over again. And like, let's not have any continuity or any kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, program that, that has a direction for more than like 3 years. Then we got to blow it up and then we got to get new people in and then we got to fire that dude. And then we got like, that's how chaotic HBO Max feels. And it's just a shame, Dan, because they got so much good shit. They have a great track record of pumping out really, really good content. They could be easily, in my opinion, they could easily be the best one on this list.
True.
If they had a fucking clue and they absolutely were able to stay on that road of just get one person, just direct y'all for like even like 5 years would be great for them. Because again, the content on there, to me, I don't know, it's hard, and we'll probably get into some rabbit hole crazy shit.
Sure.
But if you told me that I can only watch one for the rest of my life,
Ooh,
it would probably be HBO
that's a hard one.
Max. It would probably
Yeah.
be HBO Max because of, again, the resume. I know Doug loves this, but I can go back and watch my Sopranos. I can watch The Wire. I can go back and watch great classics. But then they're also pumping out shit that's not. I mean, Game of Thrones is not a classic to me. It's current. I know it's only been it's been 2 years since, but I mean that's an example of current shit that is fucking really high, high end content, and they've just been doing it forever. And I know Disney's been doing it forever too, but Disney's coming. Disney has some space to make up in that adult area that HBO Max, in my opinion,
let's be honest. HBO has been putting out quality content for a long time. Let's be honest. I mean, there are so many shows, old school shows back in the day. I mean, I'm gonna
Oz.
Okay, Oz, but we can go talk about
Wire.
Yep.
I mean,
we can go further back. We can talk about Taxi Cab Confessions, Larry Sanders Show.
Yes.
All these, like, there's so many old school titles back there that we don't even think of. I mean, if you watched it, I was a teenager, so I watched it. Real Sex series. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there that people, that take for granted from back in the day.
I will tell you that my wife watched Banshees of Inisherin and fucking was so mad at that movie.
It's on my list. I haven't watched it yet. I don't have to check that, Callisto.
The Brothers.
And the Brothers, another great one, another great example.
You can keep going. I mean, you can keep going, and then you got new shit like, again, Game of Thrones, the sequel, Mayor of Easttown. I mean, you go down the list of just
and I'm gonna say
awesome shit.
I think my favorite show that HBO has put out is probably Chernobyl, which is just this crazy.
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's
my
a
former coworker
show.
Still raves about that.
I need to go back on that one.
The only thing you have to know is the first episode is like it's set in Russia and all the actors are British. So they speak a British accent. So you just have to get over that hump the first episode. But that show is goddamn astoundingly good.
Doug, did they say the lines, "We must get moose and squirrel"?
No, they don't say that like that at all. It's all
that's good. That's already a win. If they don't say it like that, you're good.
Yeah, it is. It's so fucking good, and I think that show's probably 4 years old, and it is. It's super. And the fucked up thing about it is that shit happened in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like that was a major fucking problem that could have affected the entire planet and somehow magically didn't. And
but remember, we still have the obligation, according to some people, to colonize other planets.
Yeah. So we're supposed to go over there and drop nuclear reactors over there, apparently.
So Dan, do you think that out of all these, we're back to this thing again. I don't know. I'm keeping reference it. Of all these, it seems like Netflix has had the bumpier road recently. Do you think that a lot of the criticism that Netflix got is legit, or do you just think it's people bitching?
So, I think a lot of people, again, this is criticizing a streaming service is 100% a first world problem. Kind of like me bitching about my dishwasher, honestly. So, I mean,
okay.
But again,
that's
legit. The thing is, so with Disney has a tremendous amount of crazy amounts of already owned intellectual property. They own Star Wars, they own all Disney, Pixar, they own Marvel, and now they're airing anime too with Bleach. So it's like, so they have so much of their hand in all that, And I think that's so. But with Netflix, basically, they're coming with more original content. But I think what Netflix is doing better is internationalization. Is they're pulling content and studios and works from all over the place. And I think that they're doing a better job of saying, okay, I'm going to pull this series from Brazil, or this series from Turkey, or this series from I can't remember this one series I watched. It was I think it's called The Protector. And it was a Turkish series, and the first couple episodes, I think 3/4 of that season were amazing, and the last couple episodes weren't amazing. But the first couple, but the concept was really, really neat. And so, like again, it's great when you get a piece of culture or history from other places in the world, and it makes you think, and it makes you not be so ethnocentric about America,
Sure.
for example. And
Sure.
I love that part of Netflix. Even Money Heist is in Spain. I mean, I mentioned that before. I mean, I think that we've all watched something on Netflix that was not predominantly just U.S. centric. Like
Yeah.
for every house of cards that they make, they have something else that's international.
Right. Narcos is one that comes to mind too.
That's actually good. So Narcos is actually probably gonna be pitched upcoming because I have not. Nine and I have not watched Narcos yet, so that might be coming up as a pitch in the upcoming future.
Yeah. Did you mention you were talking about foreign shows as I stepped off for a minute? What foreign shows did you mention, if I could ask?
So I mentioned like just off the top. I mean,
You're right back.
There was So I mentioned that off the top of my head, I've watched a bunch of them basically because I watched almost all Money Heist, not the last two seasons they just dropped, but that I watched the one from Turkey called The Protector, I think it was called, which was super interesting. It was kind of like a mixture of kind of like it kind of like sci-fi meets like historical kinds of. It was an anime almost level concept, but brought into live action kind of thing. But it brought a lot of history and culture around it. But I feel like everyone out there has watched something that was not, like I said, predominantly American.
Yeah, I was thinking of the show Dark, which was
Dark. First episode of Watch Okay Plays was Dark,
and Dark was fucking amazing. And
Dark binge. I had to watch the first two episodes and I watched the first like 6.
Yeah.
Before the feedback session, it was and then I watched the first season within a week after that.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's German, so there's no English, and it's great. They made another show called 1899, which I didn't get a chance to watch, but apparently they made one season. Netflix decided to fucking cancel the rest of it. They didn't decide.
Oh, really? Because I might have to check it out though if it's like this of the same ilk.
Yeah, so they were the same people who created Dark. So I have to watch that. That's a bummer because like it speaks again to the Netflix just kind of axing stuff that isn't working immediately. I don't understand their criteria being like, well, you need to watch it this fast. Like, is that a TikTokization of Netflix? I'm guessing, because they're competing with TikTok's a fucking real competitor in this thing without actually having content. They're just everybody posts their shit. I mean, you know how it is. You're on TikTok too.
But here's the thing: you can't like, for example, like even with an animated series, like they have an animated series called I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's called like The Black, because it's based off the what's the series I'm thinking about? The big mechs that they did with oh god, this is gonna kill me.
You have to look it up now because I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. The Black.
Pacific Rim. Sorry. So they have an anime series called Pacific Rim: The Black. So again, an existing IP, right? And they have an animated tie-in to that, right? So like, if you have an existing IP and you're tying, for example, like you have, something that's already popular on Netflix, right? And you basically release a successive season or a spin-off of that, you can't rate that with the same kind of, data analysis of something that has never been tested or understood or watched by anyone before. Mm-hmm. So I think you can't apply the same framework in that kind of concept. But I don't know if they are or not. I have no idea what they're using. But in my mind, like, you have to have a different set of parameters to measure if a show is successful or not, if it's a brand new IP versus if it's an existing IP.
Yeah. That's fair.
But that's just my 2 cents.
Greg, you pop something open, and I have something too. Let's see it.
Yeah, this is my 2 cents.
Do it.
The Star.
I have one too.
Fucking tar.
I only have one comment to say about that. Unlimited flavor.
I have never had this beer. It is a classic that I have never had.
Well, here we go. It's a regional classic for sure. It's
Yep.
one of the best
Whew.
imperial stouts
Yeah, yeah,
in
here it is.
Wisconsin, and it's not
That's what I
even
was
made in
waiting for.
Wisconsin.
Oh,
Ooh. So Callisto says real quick, she pays with Dish Network for a month because they didn't raise prices like every 3 months like cable, but
Huh.
then Dish raised prices
Oh,
3 times.
shit.
This year.
Oh, fucking shit.
Oh,
Oh,
Go figure. Go-
Dish is on the out though because they lost the red zone for NFL.
right.
that's Direct
Oh,
TV.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
it's DirecTV. Sorry. Oh,
Different one.
Daniel had a problem. Oh no. All right. So Greg, cheers to you, my man. Let's
Cheers.
do it at the same
I don't
time.
have that much head as you, or at least my
Well,
head dissipated.
I always pour aggressively.
Look how fucking dark that
Look
is.
how,
though.
that thing's like fucking motor oil. Look how dark that is. It smells just fucking awesome. You all right over there, Daniel?
Yeah, I had a very effervescent beer apparently. So it bubbled over the top of the can and then some.
Oh, they just lost CBS. Whoa, what's going on there?
Damn, dude. More paper towels. Be right back.
CBS is also part of Paramount, so that's probably why.
Mm.
So, God, this is fucking excellent. Oh my God. Daniel spilled the stuff. He gave
What's
it all.
up, Jerry? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, we need to have Jerry back on too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
He'll be getting the cost.
Yeah.
Or
Jerry. There's everyone knows I made my position, clear about next week about eventually getting Jeff on at some point.
Yeah. The only reason I know that, Callisto, is because I share a password with somebody for Paramount because I watched the Halo series, and like Blue Bloods and all the fucking CBS shows are all over it, and CSI and all them. So, like, I knew that was part of Paramount, so that's why I figured that was getting backed out of Dish. But since they're trying to launch their own thing,
So Paramount.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on, Doug. No, you go.
Mine was an ancillary comment, so go.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say Paramount. So one of the shows that I haven't that I've tried to get into that I haven't, but someone on Twitter ruined the shit for me is Yellowstone.
Oh,
So,
right.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all know about anything about that, but it's basically just a cowboy show, right? So
Right.
I was watching. I watched like half of it, and I was like, something just didn't grab me. So then I just was like, fuck it, I'll come back.
You do this all the time. You do this all the time.
I do this all the time. So then I got on Twitter, and for some reason, like, you ever have those times where like you're experiencing something, and then you go somewhere totally else, and all of a sudden they're talking about it, and you're like, there's no connection. Well,
Yeah.
I just saw this tweet that said like, so it was from a black person, and they're like, fuck Yellowstone. Why do I want to watch a whole bunch of old white dudes bitching and whining about like their privileged cowboy lifestyle? And like from that point on, it just completely ruined it for me, dog. So if anybody has seen, look, right. If anybody has seen it, Aaron, I haven't seen enough to ruin it, buddy.
Next week's guest, baby.
Right.
Next week's guest.
But I haven't seen enough to ruin it for you, Aaron, so I won't. But Aaron, is it good? Like, is it worth me going through that, or is it like,
Hey,
you know how someone can just put something in your head and then
I gave you The Expanse, and you're like, eh.
No, I know. I watched a couple of them. I still haven't gotten back. It's on the list, but yeah. Yellowstone. Doug, I grew up liking cowboy movies until I found out that John Wayne was fucking racist.
Oh,
so then, right. Until then, I loved that shit, Doug. I loved like westerns. I loved them. And I still have like an affinity for them. And now I'm like, yeah, a lot of it is. Oh, okay, all right, Rod. Look, Rod must have see people here.
There you go.
Yeah, right. And it has 2 spinoffs. Yep.
Right. I heard about those drops.
Actually, one of the shows I still watch. Okay.
And 1923 is the one that Harrison Ford is in.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, 80-year-old Harrison Ford coming out to do a fucking show.
Yeah, 80-year-old Harrison Ford who is replacing the previous casting of General Ross in the MCU.
Really? Well,
yes. He's so the late William Hurt who
I can't wait for this.
passed away. Oh yeah. Everyone's so pumped up about this. Everyone is raving about it. All the critics who watched this already, because the review embargo dropped.
Yeah, 2 GOT former cast members on it. That's
Yep.
the leads.
Yeah, people are saying it might be the best video
Mando
game
himself,
adaptation
maybe.
ever. What? Okay. They spent a whole lot of money on that. Is that that's HBO, right?
That's HBO, baby.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Rod. All right, Rod. All right.
All right. So, but he said it's solid. He didn't say it was great.
Right.
Bear that in mind. There's a
Sure.
maybe solid is great for him. Maybe that's the descriptor. For me, solid just means it's good.
Something about Westerns that's
we say
always
solid. We say solid. I think of it was Undercover Brother. I'm sorry. I've been tainted by that movie. Sorry.
HBO Max too has as I'm trying to not trying, I am showing my boys a lot of like old school movies, especially ones before they were even born. And HBO Max has a lot of dumb shit like fucking Trading Spaces, Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon, all that dumb shit. Oh man, Die Hard with all of them. There's just so many great ones out there.
With everything.
Yeah, Die Hard with everything. Right. The first 4 are pretty good. After that, it gets really, really shady. But yeah. But I love Bruce Willis too. Yeah. Been in it from the beginning, Yellowstone. Oh,
wow,
look, there's a black cowboy. Yay!
Hey, sorry, but that's the token black cowboy. So sorry, but
they call him Old Token.
It's like, you remember in South Park where they had the one black kid and they named him Token? That was his name.
No. They corrected it. His name is they pronounced it wrong the entire time. It's Tolkien. His parents were big JRR fans.
Oh, it's Tolkien.
Yeah,
Tolkien.
Yeah, so I mean, shout out to Callisto again for being our resident Tolkien education leader.
Are they like that dude on TikTok that's like the giant Lord of the Rings fan that knows all the super lore that's going back like he's read everything and knows all the super crazy
Callisto
lore?
is extremely well read, and she has playlists of YouTube videos that we go through to kind of learn about everything from Baron Luthien to different aspects of the Silmarillion. Again, we collectively have our own opinion about Rings of Power, which we may or may not decide to talk about here.
My wife loved that show. I watched a few episodes.
Yeah, again, the only thing that kept me in there, yes, thank you, Aaron. Read my mind.
That's perfect.
Worked blazing saddles. Love that line.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Whip this out.
Doug told me last week I should watch Django Unchained. Or was it 2 weeks ago, Doug?
I need to rewatch
that.
It's
movie,
been
right?
forever since I watched that. I have to rewatch that.
That's a cowboy movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, let's go. I don't know who you are, but you and I need to talk because I want to learn more about that stuff because I'm not really Lord of the Rings is a bit one of those fantasy things that I like. I am not like into it, but I want to understand more of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Doug, Callisto on the Everyday Geeks Discord channel, she hosts she likes to structure out a schedule when she can of what she calls Tolkien Talks. So we'll talk about a specific a topic as it relates to the overall lore of Tolkien. So we might say, okay, let's talk about the Sons of Fëanor, for example, or the progeny of Fëanor. Or we might talk about basically the history of the hobbits, or we might talk about basically geography, even as it relates to like Numenor, if I want to pronounce it like the funny people on Amazon do, Mordor. I love their pronunciation. I love that old school pronunciation. So if nothing else, the Amazon people, kudos for trying or doing that. If nothing else, but for me, Rings of Power, Wars exactly. But yeah, for me, I mean, the Elrond Durin relationship on Rings of Power, that is what kept me watching it the entire time, honestly. For the record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like, so my wife is way into all that stuff. My oldest son is way more into it than all of us. So
Wow.
he
Read the Silmarillion and stuff like that.
yeah, he has all that shit, and
Wow. Good for
he
him.
does. He's like, hey, I'm just going to take the day. I'm going to watch all the extended versions of the movies, and I'm like, that is a lot of time. Good for you. I can't. I would feel like a giant lump of shit if I sat all day and watched all that.
We do that sometimes too. She hosts the extended versions for us every now and then because again, it's one of those things. It kind of just rejuvenates me. I think everyone here probably has anywhere from like 1 to 5 different movies that if you sit down and watch that, it rejuvenates you. And it doesn't matter what IP it's from. It doesn't matter if it's just a single movie. All of us probably have what I call like a kind of a, for lack of a better word, a rebirth movie. You watch this and you're kind of rebirthed again.
Shawshank
As far as energy
Redemption.
is concerned.
Shawshank Redemption. Every time I watch it, I feel better. Even though that movie's fucking brutal for half of it,
right?
But the end of it just is. I don't know why. Just goddamn, that movie fucking makes me feel better every time.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
What's going to make you not feel better is you can only keep 2 of these. So you have to throw.
Oh yes, here we go.
Ready?
Yeah, let's bring it.
Ooh.
That's pretty easy for me.
Dan?
Less easy, but I'm pretty close to making a determination. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much okay.
Let's go.
So I'm again as far as it. So just be clarify characters I would want in my life or characters that I want to continue to exist in actual content.
The second, I guess, right?
Yeah, not in your life, because holy shit, that changes the equation altogether.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because like I say, I'm the ghost of the most, baby. Content wise, yeah. So just for me, I'm a Star Wars fan at heart, so Yoda is automatically one of them. And the second one was a little hard for me. But I'm gonna have to go Gollum.
Oh shit! Okay.
Precious.
Okay. Doug?
Mine, the first easy one for me is the Joker, and it's only the Heath Ledger Joker. Sorry, that's the Joker to me.
That's fair.
You can make it Joaquin Phoenix. Great. I don't agree. That's the best depiction of the Joker I've ever seen. I don't think that will ever be topped. I could be wrong, but the next one was tough. I thought it was pretty easy, and then the more I looked at it, it's probably Terminator, but Indiana Jones is like right there too.
Same. Those are my 3 and 4. Yeah.
Greg, you?
Yeah, it's Indiana Jones, and that shit's not easy. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but I have respect for Yoda. But I'm gonna say the Joker, and I'm gonna disagree with Doug. Not disagree, but I get it, Doug. I get it. I get the Heath Ledger. I got it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Joaquin.
I mean, again, honestly, Mark Hamill's Joker in animated is pretty stellar.
I haven't watched the animated. Yeah.
I was.
By the way, speaking of animated DC, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
And right. I mean, he legend. So
yeah,
this past year. So very, very hard loss for a lot of people out there.
It's not a so let me finish this quick and then we Joker, Doug, I enjoyed Jack Nicholson when he was out.
Oh, he was a great Joker, but
I also enjoyed Dan might know this. I'm not sure if you saw it, Doug. I also enjoyed the leaked not on the Batman scene of the the new Joker. That guy again, it wasn't so I think, Doug, that like Heath Ledger can exist over here and we could still have some good performances over here.
I'm not
But
saying you can't. I'm not
they
saying
may
you
they may not ever equal to that. But I think overall, Joker has had some good people make a run at him. Heath Ledger just blew it away, and like that can't be really replicated. It'll never be replicated. But I don't know if Doug, if you saw that cut scene from the Batman of the Joker, they were going to put it in and they took it out.
No, I
This
didn't
guy
see it.
does a pretty good
Yeah,
job.
he was.
He's really
Yeah,
creepy, like on a creepy like
and we're
horror.
talking just like
Creepy.
what, like 2 minutes? Like we're not
Yeah,
talking like a
it,
huge scene.
it was a horror creepy, Dan. It wasn't a
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's a horror creepy.
and not that Heath Ledger wasn't a horror creepy. Heath Ledger was like a crazy creepy. Like, what
Yeah,
is this
kind of
motherfucker
creepy.
going to do at any given point? Like, he might just blow himself up. And
Well, that's
and
the
He
reason
was
why
going to. He was going to. He
no,
was
but that's
like,
the reason why. That's the reason why
you
Heath is so
believed
compelling.
it. You believed it. Go on, Dan.
Exactly. No, that,
It
no,
was-
I agree. What you're saying is 100%. That's what made Heath's interpretation so compelling.
Right.
Is that you didn't know?
Right.
Like,
So
in a moment, he would switch.
that's why I'm keeping Joker and I'm keeping Indiana Jones just for nostalgia.
And
Just
I
because
think-
I saw the Raiders of the Lost Ark last week.
yeah. How
Oh, yeah.
can I ask a question though? Why did nobody pick Harry Potter? I didn't pick him because of the J.K. Rowling thing. That's a personal thing because
Oh.
Partially that's partially for that's. I'm the same way. I'm partially.
I've seen
you
all
know,
those
in that-
movies
in a
100
camp.
times, but like, yeah, that's the
Same,
reason why. I said
same. Again, I love the lore, but again, there's part of me that's tainted by that. And you talked a little bit about that at the beginning of the show, and there was a lot of unfortunate news this week. Again, I have a lot of friends that love Channel 5, Andrew Callahan, out there on YouTube, because and he had a whole bunch of allegations hit this week. But what hit me harder was Justin Roiland this week. So
I'm not
Justin
sure.
Roiland, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about,
Yeah.
he's the voice of Rick and Morty.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Multiple allegations against him this week, and it's and that hits hard, man. Because like I again, I was slow to pick up on Rick and Morty. I didn't pick up until after season 2 was already out. I watched from like I binged 1 and 2 and maybe 3 then I was current since then. But yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, again, it's like it's hard for me to deal with something where like where you love an IP so much like that, and all of a sudden, boom! It's like it's immediately tainted by someone who, again, I don't know if he was using his notoriety to do this, or if that's just what he would do even if Rick and Morty wasn't popular. But it's hard. Yeah. Same thing. So Callisto, same thing. He allegedly was, using his position basically to, advance on women, apparently. So
It reminds me, the one that I can think of that really fucked me up and I was really mad about. I'm mad about them all. Don't get me wrong.
Same.
But, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
The guy was John Crickfalusi, and he groomed teenagers to be involved, and that shit is not okay with me in any fucking capacity whatsoever. And it ruined Ren and Stimpy for me. I fucking love that show. It was the precursor to SpongeBob. SpongeBob was based off of that.
100%. Yes.
It was just a more family friendly version of Ren and Stimpy. That's the guy that made SpongeBob. That's what he did. And John Crickfalusi was a grooming pedophile. And I can't, as much as that fucking pains me, I fucking love those goddamn cartoons.
Same.
They were gross as fuck. Like, they were on in MTV in the younger days, like where MTV would show this fucking weird shit. Like, what the fuck is this? This is awesome. Dude, I've never seen a cartoon like this.
Again, I don't want people to go back and support that because of that, but just go look at a screenshot of one of Stimpy's boogers coming out of his nose. The way they animated that was grotesque, man.
It was just gross. And there was a part where Ren lost his teeth, and it was the canals were like oozing like green fog. And it was just the grossest fucking thing you've ever seen. Yeah. But I loved it because I grew up on these cartoons that are like super wholesome or either super trippy. Like, you're either wanted to be on acid, or it was like super something fucking you want your parents to see. And this was just so not that. And it was
Yep.
like, I just, when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I can't watch any of those anymore. I had DVDs.
I've not watched one since, actually.
I tossed my DVDs out. Like, I can't watch it. Like, if I can't, even though I'd already bought them and he's not getting any more money from me, I just felt dirty watching them.
Yeah.
Greg.
Real quick, back to this, because this is a point that I wanted to make. Out of all of these, from what I know, maybe I'm wrong and y'all can tell me I'm wrong, but Joker definitely has the vast amount of you could play him different ways.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys, with all due respect, are one dimensional. Don't get me into Rocky, Adrian. Like, nothing too Rocky. I love the story. I love the movies, but the dude had no real depth of character. Let's just be real. Whereas Joker has been shown that he could be animated in so many different ways. Whether it be the Heath Ledger way, whether it be the creepy way that they have him with the Batman, whether we had Nicholson who was crazy, but was really more comedic. And I think the Joker needs to be saved here, just because you can portray him in all different ways, and we've seen it. And then the level of acting helps too, like Doug says. You know what I mean? But like, sorry, Harry Potter's Harry Potter. Not really, there's nothing really that's going to like.
Yeah,
hey,
no, that's a great point. That's a great point,
and-
because you can make a lot of. Because again, I would say Beetlejuice and Captain and Sparrow and maybe 25% of Indiana Jones, very similar.
Yeah. I think Beetlejuice could have been played in a couple of different ways. I think Michael Keaton was great in it. I just think there's probably you could play that in a couple of different ways. But I think Greg's point is right. I think most of those are just like, here's your thing. Like, you can't play the Terminator any other way than the way Arnold played it. I don't think you would have.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, very cold and very straightforward. Now, funny because the delivery was so cold. But I think you're right. Like, all those other characters are just like, they're just, here's your lane, and you stay in the fucking lane because nothing works. Like, Greg, I think you nailed that really well. I think Beetlejuice might be the only one. I think Beetlejuice, nobody's ever done it other than Keaton, but I think Beetlejuice might have been one you could have done it.
The musical kind of is similar, but in different like ilk a little bit. So, but yeah, I for the most part, it's still, I'd say 80% of the OG.
All right. I'm going to ask a question, though. You look at Rocky Balboa there, right? Now, ask, who do you think would play Rocky now? Because he wouldn't be that. He would be fucking Channing Tatum or fucking Hugh Jackman or some shit where he's like super muscle bound, right? Be like an equivalent to Ivan Drago. Ivan Drago was, and even Ivan Drago wasn't ripped back then. Like,
right.
So it's interesting to see that, to think that who would do that now.
Give me the dude from Reacher. Yeah. Give me that dude from Reacher.
Yes, who was?
I was thinking Henry Cavill.
That would work too. He might work too.
Cavill is fucking goddamn.
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't bring him up. That's a sore subject.
Yeah, Cavill's a sore subject. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he is.
Why is he a sore subject? What am I missing?
Well, because DC's fucking around and not going to have him be Superman, or they're going to, or they don't know, or they want to today, and on Friday they don't.
It's official. James Gunn he's punted. He's done. The only thing that James Gunn is keeping definitively are any project that his wife is involved with, pretty much.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, his wife is tangential to both Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. So those, some level of those characters are somewhat safe, and he's in talks with Matt Reeves about the Batman. So we'll have to see, like, what will happen. Because again, no one really knows what the DC's plan is moving forward, but it sounds like a reboot.
Nobody ever knows what DC's plan is. DC's plan is like,
no, but again, 100%. I mean, all we know at this point is that there is going to be a new plan, and Matt Reeves is the Batman, aka Robert Pattinson, may or may not be part of that plan. But if it is part of that plan, it might be a separate continuum, or it might be part of the main DCU. Again, before it was DCEU, now it's DCU. They've redone it. Yeah, I don't know. No.
So the guy that played the Joker in the Batman was fucking great. That
No,
was
again,
how did I know
I agree.
it was
It wasn't a Joker.
no, it was a Riddler. It was a Riddler.
Oh, okay. Yes.
No,
He
but
played
the
the Riddler.
Joker in the end credit scene. I mean,
Yeah, but I meant like in the movie, like the
oh yeah.
Batman, like the guy that played the Riddler was.
Do not lie.
Yes, the fact that I think this is fucking great. I didn't even think of that.
True.
And then,
That's true, Aaron.
he could be in that movie. What was that movie that Will Ferrell did with Mark Wahlberg, where they were the cops, and Michael Keaton is like their chief, and he also works at like Kmart, and he's quoting TLC
Oh my God,
lyrics
yeah.
the whole time.
Oh shoot, what's that? What's that movie?
Oh shit, I can't remember the name of it, but that movie is so fucking funny. And Michael Keaton's doing like, yeah, you got to creep, keep it on the down low. Like, you're just punking us. He's like, what are you talking about?
The other guys. That's okay.
The other guys. That's right.
Yeah, that movie was wild.
That movie is that's an underrated, super funny movie. I haven't watched that in a while. I need to.
It's true. No, Callisto, you're 100% right. He's instigated fights with content creators out there. There's one that so Callisto and I are both what we're known as Nerd Vengers. So because we're part of the Den of Nerds. Yeah, so we're part of the Den of Nerds live, and yeah, Multiplicity was amazing. It was one of my favorite, probably top 150 movies is probably maybe for me, just because I love Michael Keaton that much. But the fact that Gunn felt the need to go after the Josh Lucas of the Den of Nerds because of what he was saying. He's like, Gunn just doesn't like Henry Cavill, and he goes after him for saying that. I'm like, okay, but you just cut him from all your movies. When every single fan out there, like I say, 85% of people out there love Cavill as Superman.
Mm-hmm. He was great.
And you still cut him from your movies. I'm like, come on, man.
I have a stealth movie that Michael Keaton is in that is my favorite movie if I actually want to cry.
Really?
And it's a movie called My Life.
Whoa, I haven't seen that.
And this is in the 80s or maybe early 90s. And Nicole Kidman is his wife, and he has cancer, and he's making videos to show his unborn son how to do things in life.
Yep.
That
movie was
heart-wrenchingly good. I have that on DVD. I know that makes me sound like an old guy. I don't care.
No.
I love that movie.
No. Dude, that movie is like, that movie is heartfelt and gut-wrenching at the same time. It
makes you feel good and cry all at the same time. It's so good.
Yep.
It's so good. And listen, I'm not going to say Nicole Kidman's a good actress. She wasn't back then. She's good now. She's getting a lot of good things now. I will say one of the things that she was in is I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent is from that. I'm going to jump to Nicole Kidman band. The movie Malice, the movie Malice she did with Alec Baldwin.
Right.
She's great in that, and Alec Baldwin's much better, and that's why he's fucking Alec Baldwin. He's a bit of a lunatic, but he's fucking great at what he does.
Yeah.
So any guy that has fucking 7 kids when you're 50 years old, you're a dunce. Don't fucking do that. Stop fucking popping out kids. I don't care how rich you are. Stop doing that shit.
I agree.
Nick Cannon enters the chat.
Exactly.
Nick Cannon is way younger than Alec Baldwin's in his fucking you got to be close to 60. And he's still having kids.
I mean,
I got you.
So the kids we know about that Nick Cannon has are just the ones that have been confirmed.
Right.
Those ones that are confirmed. So we don't know. Like he could have for all we're gonna say, he could have like kids in every state on the Eastern Seaboard. Just saying.
Yes, she was very good at 9 Perfect Strangers. She was.
Yes.
And, I have a lot of issues with the ending of that show, but the show itself was pretty good.
Shows you what kind of a bad bitch Mariah Carey is. She only had 2 of Nick Cannon's kids, and she was married to him for how long, Doug?
Yeah,
she was able to say, "No, motherfucker, stop."
Also, Mariah Carey, I will say for a dumb thing, and this is a dumb tangent, but like Mariah Carey's appearance on Cribs was second only to Redman's appearance on
Yeah.
Redman's appearance at MTV Cribs was the fucking best by a mile. Like they're like, show us your crib. He's like, yeah, and he showed us this fucking place where everything's fucking a mess. Yeah, look at this, and he's like going to like shit slaying all over the place. Redman just didn't give a shit.
Exactly.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
It was so fucking great. But Mariah Carey was like getting in a tub with a towel. Like,
Yes, she was. Okay, I remember this.
Yeah,
Right.
Redman's was the best. Redman's was the best by a mile.
Nicole was chilling in the Northman.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, no, we did a watch party with Callisto, for the Northman when it went afterwards. Yeah, when it came out. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I agree. She was very good. The Northman.
Yeah. My wife thought she was excellent in that too. I didn't get a chance to watch Northman, which is that an Eggers? Who directed that?
I think you're right. I mean, it was Eggers.
Eggers, and I remember. One of my friends is named Aaron Softly. He's a dad blogger, used to be, but he's a pastor in North Carolina, which is funny because I'm an atheist. But he and I have a lot of conversations, and he loves Eggers, and he goes, "Not an Eggers movie normally. Like it just wasn't directed like shit he normally does." But he said it. He really enjoyed it. My wife really liked it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're also, speaking of things I'm watching, is we're the second season anime of the Vinland Saga, which is tangentially related to the Northmen, because it follows kind of a revenge story of a character named Thorfinn. So it's tangentially related to the Northmen in a lot of different ways. So again, if you like the Northmen and you like animation, I could not recommend Vinland Saga more than enough because it's amazing.
Okay. Nice. Sorry, I dropped my wedding ring because I was fiddling with it on my finger. So I was like, "Oh shit!" and then it fell beneath my chair. So I was like trying to find it.
See, that's the advantage of gaining back a little weight during the past year is that my ring won't come off that easily.
Whereas I have the opposite problem. I lost 50 pounds and now my ring is like.
Yep. I mean, I have every intention of losing the weight. Just
I do not suggest losing it the way I did, where I was terrified.
No,
for
definitely
like 3
not.
or 4 months. Don't do that. That's not fun.
No, I definitely no, and I recommend. I'm trying to do it the quote unquote normal way.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Right. Dan, did you have another beer?
I did, yeah. So the beer that basically wrecked my desk just now was from Destination Unknown Brewery. This is their Damaris. This is a hoppy red ale at 6.5%. It's super tasty. It's kind of like it's a red ale of old, but less crystal malt. And not too overbearing on the Cascade or Centennial hops. So it's actually very restrained and very well balanced. And like this was more ABV than the last one I had from Fifth Hammer, but so I wanted to have something a little bit more than that. And but this is like way more well balanced than I thought it would basically be. There's a lot you can do with this. I mean, pairing wise, I think you can go a lot of different ways with this. And I feel like you can do anything from honey roasted peanuts with this to I'd say a variance of kind of garlic sauce wings to just burgers to pizza. I mean, there's the same kind of flexibility you have with the Vienna lager you would have with this hoppy red ale. I think it's nice.
All right, Dan. So what's going on over at Dan on Tap?
Yeah, so I dropped another review earlier about the I'm doing it through my Think New York, Drink New York beer box I got from care of Halftime Beverages.
Halftime, yeah, man, I need to order stuff from them. Yeah.
So I got so unfortunately I had to drop about four beers I think from them that had lactose in them because as was discussed last year. Yeah, I dropped lactose and dairy from my diet at this point because it literally wrecks me. And even things that aren't lactose still wreck me. I'm still trying to figure out what's wrecking me at this point. So, but yeah, that's a whole other story. But
hopefully it's not lactose and gluten. That would not be fun.
No, they tested for that too when they tested for the lactose issue, and yeah, I'm perfectly fine in that department. but apparently it might not be lactose, it might be specifically grain based. So I have to start doing, I have to like just corn for 1 week and see what it does to me when add beers. I might have spelt or other kinds of ancient grains, if you will. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out over time. I mean, I try to cut carbs other than beer out of my diet as much as I can because I'd rather drink my carbs than have carb. Because
I just
carbs
like
go
to have
right
all
to
the
me.
carbs. All the carbs. Give me all of them.
I want all the carbs, but I can't have all the carbs. So. But so I just dropped another review on that. I did the actually it was another beer from Destination Unknown. Actually, come to think of it now, it was their layover lager. It's an American pale lager, but they hop it with a Wakatu, so it's Southern Hemisphere hop. So it's a totally different take on a lager. I really enjoyed it though. It was very interesting to say the least. So I mean, and these guys have a place in Long Island and also one upstate, two locations. So. I think they're in Warwick. I think is the upstate location. So, they're in the vicinity with Doc's Draft and other people in that vicinity up there. So for cider, so there's people in that vicinity. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is race again. I mean, when I get a hoppy something, if something says hoppy in it, I'm still expecting West Coast IPA level hopping regimen,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that this wasn't and it was so well balanced like that is nice. So, but.
Yeah, that was me saying like, hey, having a heart attack and being terrified to eat for 4 months is not the great way to go for.
I feel you, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. Listen, man, I fucking love bread. And here's the thing: I can eat bread and I can eat carbs, and it's not a problem. That's actually not the problem for me. It's fucking sodium and like red meat, and like. Greg, I don't know how you feel because you have been in sort of the same scenarios. I have like red meat, I have like once a week. Like that's where I'm at. And everybody has their different ways to go about it. You know what I mean? Like you have your different regimen. I have my regimen. My regimen is trying to stay away from red meat, which sucks because I like red meat. But like, yeah.
I'm finding the red meat a little bit easier as I go, Doug, actually.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I've gotten to a point where like tonight I made tacos, but I made tacos with turkey burger, and like you just add this, as long as you can spice it well, it's fucking fine. Yeah, you don't have as much fat, but I don't need the fat. I just want the flavor. So yeah.
Well, and one of the things, Doug, is one of the things about it psychology wise, and we'll talk to Aaron about that next week.
Yeah.
Is a lot about carrying over shit from your childhood and to your adulthood and having that be so normal that it's just hard for you to almost ever get out of it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the feeling of being full. I was taught when my grandmother always made sure that I was full. Are you full? Did you have enough? Is your stomach full? My stomach doesn't need to be full, Doug. My stomach needs the nutrients it needs for me to get by during the day. It doesn't need full. But I still fight to this day about making myself full as opposed to, you know what I mean, just eating one plate enough. Your one plate's enough. With your snack later at night.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It is. And our grandparents came from the generation where, you know what I mean, like you would get full, or you didn't know where the next meal was coming, or was the next meal as nourishing as the rest of your food. So then my grandmother, again, who was a big part of my life until she passed, was always about full. Every time I went over to her house, are you full? Did you eat? Even if I came to her house after dinner, she'd be like, "Look, we got some chicken wings still on the thing." Hey, she would go into the refrigerator. Look, we got some collards left. All you got to do is microwave them. It's like, no, Grandma, I'm cool. And she would really never take no for an answer. So there was a lot of times I was eating without even fucking being full, or I was like, not even, I shouldn't have just been eating more. So that's really the hardest thing, Doug. And that's kind of where I'm not blaming her, of course, because I'm a man and I lived 50 years of my life as an adult. So I should be able to do this myself. I'm not blaming her, but that's where a lot of my food issues come from. It's my childhood. and I'm still trying to shake that 80 fucking years later. So
Yeah,
that's
dude.
that.
Same.
Yeah. My grandmother showed love with her cooking.
And
Absolutely.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with showing love with your cooking. There is nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. Like I show love with my cooking too, but I also cook differently now.
Yeah.
But that's because I have to. Like
Right.
there's a difference. So like Dan, I don't know how it was for you, but like see I grew up in Pennsylvania Dutch country and Pennsylvania, where everything is fucking carbs. Everything is carbs and meat. Everything's carbs and meat. Just that's what you eat, and you'd eat, and that shit would fill you the fuck up. Now the thing is like when I eat, I recognize, like Greg said, it's like you recognize when you're satiated. There's a difference between being full and being satiated.
Yes.
Like I'm where I need to be. I'm good. I don't need to keep eating. There's a thing from fucking shithead comedian Louis C.K. where it's like, I don't eat till I'm full. I eat until I fucking hate myself. That's not a good place to be.
No.
But a lot of Americans, and I'm going to use Americans in this because
No, you're right.
A lot of Americans eat till they fucking feel like they're going to burst. That's not a good thing. The only time that I would say that is good is in Thanksgiving. But
Fair.
but I'm going to say it. So
if you're using Jeffrey's mac and cheese recipe, that is.
Yeah. So like, but my question would be like, so we're all different backgrounds. Like Greg grew up in a black family. I grew up in Pennsylvania Dutch. Daniel, did you grow up? I'm going to make a presumption that it's like a Jewish kind of household where it's like, everybody's about food though. All of them are food.
No, everyone's about food. 100%. You didn't again. Yeah. So again, if I haven't made it clear before, I am of mixed heritage. So my mom's Chilean. My dad is Eastern European Jewish from Brooklyn. So so I have like the an intersection of that. But again, like you said, still food centric.
Mm-hmm. And food centric isn't bad. It's just like understanding what the good food is you can have, which is weird because like Pennsylvania Dutch food is like no spices. Everything's just bland as fuck. Lots of potatoes. I fucking love potatoes. I eat potatoes all the time.
I love potatoes too.
But it's something where like I'm learning now as I'm fucking 50 years old and I cook a lot because I want to be able to kind of control what I'm eating to understand like the sodium level of shit. But like my God, my fucking nothing was seasoned.
But let's all be thankful.
I love them, but goddamn.
But let's all be thankful. None of us were born to the Dean household, where we have like 5 sticks of butter per capita.
Correct. Also, fast food and eating outside of the home was not even remotely as prevalent as it is today, and that's where the shit can really go off the fucking rails.
Agreed.
Yes, grandmother wanted us filled, but she wasn't generally feeding us with sodium filled or you know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. There was actually vegetables, at least on my plate.
I mean,
there was
wings and collards. That's a balance there in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was actually balanced. The more I look back at it, it was actually more of a balanced meal than I eat, and then that's presented to us too. Also, portions are just out of fucking control. And Doug and I found this out recently because Doug and I both have went through a shit, but also I remember Doug and I have shared with each other that now when we go out, we share plates. I'm sharing plates with my teenagers. I'm like split. Hey, when we go to a Mexican restaurant, hey, can I get half of what you're, can we split a
can I try
or something?
That?
Yeah. Or can I just have a spoonful of that rice and cheese that I know I used to be able to eat a whole fucking plate full, but now I'm just gonna have a little bit of a taste, Doug, and I'm gonna be done and I'll be fine. I'll go back to my fucking bananas over here. But anyway,
no, I feel that, man. I feel that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another great point.
Exactly right. That's a great point. Like it's different because now we have a lot more knowledge. We have a lot more science to back up what we're looking at, like what we can eat, and it's interesting because I look at like when things happen and I had a heart attack and they were like, you need to eat 2 grams of salt per day. I was like, that sounds like a lot. So it's like actually it's more like 2 to 2.5. That's where it should be, right?
Right.
The amount of processed shit we have in America, like
It's ridiculous.
I was eating 4 times what that was every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just processed food, fried shit, just like it was pretty fucking crazy. And now, like, my wife is along for the ride. She's like, "Great, you're here. You survived that, which I'm fucking thankful for. So let's do this together." So, like,
We're all thankful with that, man.
something that's cool is like just being like, we eat a lot of vegetables, and then all the leftovers we throw in a bag, we throw in the freezer, and then we make stocks.
Nice.
And you just throw shit in a pot and put it with water, and it's fucking magic. Like, you make these stocks. I eat a shit ton of soups, but like we have probably 9-10 fucking quarts of fucking
Nice.
stock in our freezer. You can freeze that shit, and you can freeze a lot of stuff. And
If I had a separate freezer, man, I would totally do that.
yeah, I have a chest freezer. So I have a fridge that's right near me with a freezer, but it's a little freezer. And then I have a freezer downstairs, and I have a chest freezer. So I have a lot of places I can put, but I have a pretty
So
reasonable size
if there's
house.
one thing, again, if there's one thing I could say, if we could all be leftover masters the way Garrett Oliver is out there from Brooklyn Brewery,
Yeah.
we should all do that level of stuff, man, because we would have so much less waste
Mm-hmm.
if we all did that, man.
Yeah. The amount of waste that we used to put out and what we put out now is way less. Like,
That's great.
yeah, if we're going to make a chicken or a turkey or whatever, we take all the bones, we throw it in a bag, and then we make some stock out of that. Like, it sounds silly. Like, you can just really maximize shit instead of going and buy. And let me tell you, when you buy stock or something like that to make soup at a store, unless you're getting no salt added, that shit is fucking all your
Yeah.
sodium content for one day.
We get low
In one
sodium
box.
everything. We I agree. We never get full sodium anything anymore.
Yeah. It's sorry for the lecture, but like I'm kind of all
No.
over stuff now.
No. Again, Americans are all about, we want flavor.
Mhm.
We're all about the Guy Fieri. We want to go to Flavor Town every time.
But you can get flavor without making it fucking sodium, like a fucking
Exactly.
ton of salt.
That's exactly the point.
Salt is an element of flavor, and you can add salt to it, and you can do that, and I do that to almost every meal. There's a little bit of salt.
The way I say it is that you don't have to go to the seedier parts of Flavor Town.
Well, maybe that's where Guy Fieri resides.
Yeah, I don't have frosted tips, so I don't know if that's the right thing to say for me. I don't know. So. But now it's a card for me. It's like, so I don't have an oven or a stove anymore, so I can't really make stock anymore until the hot plate comes in.
Sure you can. You can do it on a hot plate. When you get a hot plate, you can put it.
What's the hot plate? Because I have a whole carcass from a chicken over here that I'm freezing right now. Or I'm waiting because I'm making more stock after that.
Awesome.
So Daniel can't make any of these at home. So then let's talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Oh
yeah.
One has to go. Only one. It's fried pickles. Fuck fried pickles. Pickles suck.
Oh,
you asking me before last year or now? It's a different story.
So real quick before we get to Dan, what the fuck is mozzarella sticks? Stop with that shit. Mozzarella sticks can go.
Fried cheese.
It's.
So why are you making onion rings and a blooming onion? They're the same.
Yeah, they're so similar.
Format.
Maybe it's the Wisconsin in me, but fried cheese. That shit's boring. It's boring. It's tiring. Half the time you get these damn things, they're cold, or the fucking cheese is half out of it. It's just mozzarella sticks are stupid.
Curds.
I'm gonna say it.
Wisconsin cheese curds is a totally other conversation.
I understand, and maybe that's why I'm spoiled, because we have cheese curds out here and they're amazing. But to me, mozzarella sticks are stupid, and that's all I'm going to say, and that's why they're going to go. I'm not even going to endorse the rest of them. Actually, I'm just going to say that mozzarella sticks are stupid. Call me names in the comments. That's fine.
No,
Dan, what's up?
No. Again, no, to your extent. So I'd say 80% of mozzarella sticks out there
Are stupid.
are stupid and inferior. Not enough cheese, too much cheese, bad breading, not cooked, not fried enough, whatever the case is. 20% are really good. But that being said, basically, again, I'm dairy free, so I can't have mozzarella sticks anymore. So that goes for me anyway.
Okay. Now I do want to acknowledge what Doug. I do want to acknowledge what Doug said too. Obviously, there's 2 onions here.
Right.
Yeah, Daniel agreed with me that's like
right.
Yeah, I would say onion rings are vastly superior to a bloomin' onion. But
I would agree because the bloomin' onion is you always get a when you pull from the middle or the outside, it's a vastly different flavor and consistency.
Yeah. Jerry, you're right.
There you go, Jerry.
And the thing is, like with the bloomin' onion, invariably it is way too greasy when you try to pull pieces of it. Like it's just fucking grease bomb. And I listen, onion rings are crispy,
crunchy.
You're right. You're done right.
Salty. Right.
Yeah, that is a vice of mine that I don't eat very often, but when I do, I fucking enjoy the fuck out of them.
So Doug, if you had to keep one, it would absolutely be onion rings.
Oh, for sure. If I had to keep one, the onion rings.
Keep
all the others I wouldn't give a shit about.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, if I only have to jettison one, it's fried pickles by a mile.
Okay. And same with you, Dan?
Onion rings would probably be a clear winner for me. And then fried pickles would be close second. The only reason why onion rings above fried pickles, in case you never heard this story before, when I was super young, I used to eat onions like fruit. I would just like break open an onion and just bite into them like fruit.
Yellow onions?
Yes.
There's people that would do that. Sure.
I love onions. Don't get me wrong. Yellow.
I get, but it plays havoc with my reflux now, unfortunately. But yeah, I used to be crazy all about that.
Dan's mozzarella sticks. Mozzarella sticks.
Aaron, when we meet up at some point in the future in person, we will do this. We'll split that.
How have you two not met?
We'll do appetizers, across the board, and you'll eat all the mozzarella sticks. And
how have you and Aaron not?
I'll take my tag him at wherever else I'm taking it at that moment. So.
How have you and Aaron not hung out? Because Aaron lives in New York City too, so I'm a little confused why you guys haven't had.
I'm rarely outside my apartment at this point. So,
Doug, because all those millions of people know each other.
Hey,
we should.
That's how it works. You guys are in proximity, so fucking get it together. Let's go.
Yeah, your fried pickles supposed to be some with thick slices of pickles.
No, Jerry,
pickles are too thin and fried too hard. Unless they're fried gherkins. Gherkins are the only exception to this. If the pickles are too thin.
That's what she said.
No.
Or he said.
Or he, depending on your proclivities.
But so another thing real quick though, while we're parsing hairs here, not literally, hopefully not in our food. But the blooming
don't say
onion,
that in public.
the blooming onion and the fried pickles both need accompanying sauce. So that's a problem.
Yes.
Like you have to have sauce. The mozzarella sticks, I can give or take the sauce. If the sauce is good though, I will jump in. But the blooming onion and the fried pickles, in my opinion, need sauce. Jerry, what do you say about that? Because you seem to be down with the pickles.
If the breading and the mozzarella sticks is properly seasoned, you don't need the sauce.
Right.
If they're not seasoned though and it's bland as hell, yes, you need the sauce.
See, mozzarella sticks, Doug, for me are like coleslaw and a lot of other things. I like them, but it has to be good. And most of them are shit. Most coleslaw is trash. But that high-end good coleslaw, if you get it fresh and it's not sitting there all day, man, you can't beat coleslaw, like good coleslaw. You just can't beat it. But there's so much bad shit out there. It's almost like, that when we went to that phase, or are we still there with IPAs? And, you know what I mean? Like, there's some damn good, great ones, but the bad ones ruin it for the good ones.
Yeah.
If that even makes sense. That's
Yeah.
kind of how. And then another thing too, I want to talk about before we move on, especially with onion rings. Doug, when you grew up, or Dan, when you grew up, wasn't that like the best thing about Burger King was onion rings? And does Burger King still have onion rings?
Yeah.
And
And they're terrible.
They do.
okay, they're horrible. I remember they used to be banging back in the day.
They used to
Doug.
be
Am
No,
I
great.
wrong?
there's
Agreed.
almost no onion in them. They're almost all bread now.
But they
Yes.
used to be banging though, right?
Yeah.
They were
What's
very
funny,
good back in the day.
the best onion rings are the one when you bite in them and like the onion follows you as you open it. Like,
Yes.
those are
Yes.
the good onion rings.
Yes.
Yeah, but that shit annoys me though, Doug, because I want onion. I want my onion with my.
It's the balance of the onion and the batter.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And then you try to stuff the onion back in the ring. Come on, come back.
See, Gary's right. I do appreciate the right.
Oh my god.
Everybody
Yeah,
agrees
that's-
about Graham.
yeah, that's it. I have to say that's a Vlasic comment right there.
No.
Sorry.
Doug, are you having another beer tonight?
Last one. Not a big one.
should
This is,
Should I grab a fifth one now? I mean,
if you want to.
You can do what you want, as long as you're not driving.
This is
I'm
low
not driving.
ABV.
You're back.
This is a Flying Dog Cujo cold brew coffee porter with Vigilante coffee. Now, I don't drink carbonated or caffeinated coffee anymore, so this will be interesting. This is a limited release, according to the label. So Cujo is their normal porter.
Whoa, wait. You drink non-caffeinated coffee now?
Yeah, because caffeine fucking spikes my goddamn everything. My heart goes like crazy when I have caffeine now.
Yeah, a little. Mine does a little. So wait, so how is that, Doug? Is it how is that?
I drink decaf coffee all the time. You can find really good decaf coffee. Like for real, it tastes good. You just don't get the fucking residual where your heart's fucking palpitating. I can't handle that anymore. That makes me fucking worry that I'm gonna fucking have a heart attack. So no.
Heart palpitations are not fun.
No, they are not.
I can vouch for that shit.
Also, so what I find interesting is like Flying Dog always makes some really weird fucking labels. Like
Yeah, they're fucked.
Oh,
Weird
yeah.
labels, weird beers, all that shit.
Yeah, so Cujo cold brew coffee porter, 6% ABV. But look how fucking dark that is. Look at that. I'm reusing the glass as
Beautiful.
I cleared it with water. Look at that. That's fucking dark as fuck. I'm not
Amazing
getting a lot of
glass
coffee in. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of coffee up the nose. A little bit, but not much. All right, so coffee roastiness is all there. Good, but very kind of plain. Not outstanding. It's okay. It's not great. It's decent. So yeah. Daniel, what did you pour? So let's hear what you had.
so one of the newer breweries out of Brooklyn here is Wild East. So plain words, Wild East. You know, this is their standard deviation. This is their stout at 6%.
Let's see it again.
Let's see. So
Please.
they're again another. I've not had a bad beer from them. I've had a bunch of beers from them. I've had their ESB, their Amber, and their Hellas, and then this, and then one other beer besides I can't remember the top of my head. But they make amazing beer, and they are super supportive of any community you come from. They have members of their staff that are both diverse in minority orientation, where the case is, and they're super supportive about there. And but the beer is incredible. So I mean, they're again, they're not making huge headlines out there, but they should be, because their beer is incredible.
Cool. And how's the one that you got right there?
Yeah, this again so for me, I get a lot of I get a little bit of the coffee element, but kind of like a more kind of a fruity coffee element. So you get like a roast from say Central America, versus another part of the world. You get more fruity contents from there usually, depending upon what the roast is, and I'm getting a little more of that on here. But like the palate is like it's full. It's like it kind of has a nice mouthfeel, but it's not super heavy. Oh, so yeah, so Wild East, yeah, they're in Brooklyn. They're in Brooklyn. So
Brooklyn in the house.
All right.
But on the palate, basically, the coffee note continues a little bit. I get this nice little finish that's kind of like kind of a I'd say drip coffee. Proper drip coffee you get at Blue Bottle elsewhere. From like a single origin type of place, that's what you get off of that for me. Kind of a hint of kind of this like a dark cacao aftertaste a little bit, but it's not overpowering. It's not bitter. That's what's so surprising to me is it's not bitter. There's a not sweetness, but it's just a balance element out of it. And again, there's finesse going into this beer, which is what I love. So
excellent. Yeah, that sounds good. And what is also excellent is so next week in Brothers and Booze, if y'all see, it's Aaron Yavelberg. And you're supposed to drink coffee with your mouth, Doug, not your nose. Maybe that's why you keep getting heart palpitations. And
Trish,
for
snorting.
more hot takes like that, join us next week.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Aaron's you've not been on Brothers with Aaron. He's a delight. So you better tune in next week.
Aaron is fun and smart and all that shit. So
I'm looking forward to it.
But yes, we're gonna have hot takes galore though next week.
Apparently,
yeah.
I'm gonna end up some coffee beers next week. Apparently,
Aaron is a gin drinker, isn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't it gin?
No, he likes.
Or was it whiskey?
It's whiskey.
Is it whiskey? Okay.
Oh, so actually, speaking of that, I have something to add about when you're done, Doug.
No, I was just gonna say I have whiskey to drink, so it's gonna be fine when he's here. I have a new one that I bought that is
gin.
Okay, gin. He is a gin. Okay.
Yeah,
but he said gin and bourbon. That's okay. I have gin and bourbon in my house that I can share for the show.
That's excellent.
It'll be fun.
I have gin, but it's Grey Goose.
Whatever happened to the gin that I gave you guys? That was the citrus forward one. Did you guys finish that? From Black Button?
It's probably
Isn't that chocolate?
No. It was an orange citrus.
Oh.
I gave you guys one of that when we were at.
We still got it in our liquor.
It was from Fresh Fest, Barrel and Flow, whatever you want to call it. I brought you one of those, and then I brought you a Southern Tier, like I think it was a hot cocoa or some shit. I can't remember.
I completely forgot it. Sorry.
Oh wow.
It wasn't given to me. It was given to the lady in the house specifically.
That's not true. I gave it to all of you.
I kind of took it as you gave it to her. So
no. I gave it to you.
I just forgot it.
Community use.
So then last week I wanted to do gin and tonic stuff, so I went and got Grey Goose last week.
No, I'm telling you, try a gin and tonic with that citrus.
With that orange shit?
Oh
okay.
my God, dude, it's fucking great. And if you can find, like, I prefer a lime tonic. You can find lime tonics that are relatively cheap. I think they're like $1.
So use a lime tonic with the orange gin.
It sounds weird. I'm going to tell you.
It does.
No, it sounds good.
It sounds weird.
The citrus.
So
is great.
My gin choice. So we finished off a bottle. Okay, so again, I'll say this out. I had it at work, but it's not officially at work.
Okay.
It's not physically at work. What?
Yeah. So no, Nika. So Nika, who is predominantly a Japanese whiskey distillery, probably known as.
Yeah, they make a good coffee whiskey.
Exactly. They have a coffee gin. And it's amazing. I had that. I had like a couple of G&Ts of that, and I was in heaven. We used I think we used Fever Tree for that one. For the tonic, and it was pretty money. I had a good time with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you my favorite gin is the Botanist, which is an Islay gin.
Oh yeah.
That is an amazing goddamn gin. I don't have any, but I do have one called Indigo Gin, which
Ooh.
is fucking
Ooh.
awesome. Greg, are you
We
all
had
right
a-
over there? Wait,
we had a
Greg, are you right over there? What is that? What is that shit?
Yeah, that's what I know.
Oh, the
Death
Death
Star.
Star.
That's-
Do
it.
Dude, I finished that thing. That thing is fucking great. That was
If you only knew the
Wow.
power of the dark side.
So,
Yeah.
no idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I also tried this gunpowder gin. So they
Yeah, that's a good
have the
one.
traditional gin ingredients with gunpowder green tea. That was kind of interesting too, but I felt that it was a little bit too forward. But yeah, but in any case, I'm ready to rank if you guys want to hear.
Yeah, let's do it. What you got?
All right, let me grab my stuff here.
Let me grab all of my beers.
Oh my god, there's so many beers here. Yeah. So I think it's the malt. I think it is. I guess I'm guessing. Again, I haven't looked this up before, but I think the malt is when they do their kilning, they it's a coffee based malt they use for that. In my understanding. So this is super hard, man. I have to say. I think as far as intriguiness is concerned, I think the Wild East for me is like the most intriguing of these beers, just because again it's stout season for me. I think that's why I'm kind of torn by that. I'd say a second place would probably go to the Fifth Hammer, for their Prince's Pale, and then I'd say after that probably Strong Rope for as far as intriguiness is concerned, and then like the again not that these were bad, but the Return Kolsch and the Destination Demarest, all very interesting. Again, off the beaten path kinds of approaches to the styles. Sure. So, but
Nice.
enjoyable.
Doug? Hold
I
on.
had- all my beers are great.
Okay.
But
Just for that, I want to do a special dance for you.
Oh, yes. Love it.
All right. So
Hold on.
Love the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. To get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken
wings.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Love
Doug.
that.
All right, so Cujo Coffee Porter was kind of the most unremarkable beer I had. It was good. It was not great.
Interesting.
So the next was the No Bad Days Lager, which was really good. It was a good lager. It was really good. Like I said, everything I had was really good. I didn't have a
Ontario
bad-
represent.
Ontario, Toronto. Next was the Peanut Butter Cup Imperial Stout, which was very good, super peanut buttery on the nose and on the palate. But there is no way that this didn't win, which was a Death Star. That I'd never had. 14.8% ABV. Oh my god, this was so good. I'm glad I have more of these.
Yeah. And once again, I mean, tune into Doug's not this Doug, but the other Doug.
Doug Valicki.
Yes. Tune into his TikTok, etc. Because
which is Beer Aficionado.
Beer Vision, exactly. And he had some great predictions for 2023. And I'm on board with what he's saying.
Yep, for real. So Greg, your turn.
Hey, Utah District 12, listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot.
If she's going to lose. She lost. She lost. This lady can't lose.
But yeah.
She's better.
Taste the
Better.
biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the butter spread. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the butter spread.
All right, so she brings up a really important question. Is it butter spread, Doug, or is it honey on those biscuits?
Could you repeat that?
You're at a restaurant with your lovely wife. Y'all get some biscuits. You know how they put biscuits out before you eat. Is it honey or is it butter on those biscuits?
If I have honey and butter, both.
Oh, okay. So you put the butter on first, and then you string a little honey on it, and
yeah, if I can. Biscuits are fucking delicious.
I know, but they're gonna make your heart pop out of your side.
Yeah, that's why I have half of a biscuit and the rest of my wife. Here you go.
Right. Not the butter spread, right?
I was told that birds be chirping, and yeah.
Jerry, you don't want her to get her butter spread on you, or you're not down with that?
The biscuit need to be lubricated, baby.
I don't like the way it mixes with my mac and cheese.
No, you don't put the butter or the honey on the mac and cheese, lady. What is she doing? I never heard that before, Doug. What the fuck is her problem trying to put honey on the mac and cheese?
See, I think this is just a metaphor for her and her sex life.
This is with my mac and cheese.
Sorry. I guess it's to get a little
when you're
at
KFC, you got that special sauce to stir my curiosity.
Special sauce for her curiosity. Wow.
Pretty sure that's a white woman thing. Oh, really, Aaron?
Yeah, you're right, Aaron.
All right.
You're probably right.
Doug, we're going to have to press him on this next week.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that.
Doug, I will start sending you via Facebook some talking lore videos. You can start slow.
Please do.
Yes.
Please do.
Excellent.
Please do, because I wanna understand more of it. Like I know some, but not much. My wife knows more than I do. Sorry, I accidentally knocked one of my glasses off of my thing and crashed all on the floor. Greg, it's your favorite glass. That thing's fucking toast.
No.
What glass?
Hold on, I will show you.
Oh no.
Yes. It's a
shame. No, it's the Black is Beautiful.
Oh
is
no.
It?
Oh no. Oh no. Sorry. I had to do
That's your Scotch ale glass. That's your famous Scotch ale glass.
Exactly.
I didn't even hear it crash bang.
Jillian, I have it.
Freaking January the 13th. Friday the 13th. God damn it.
Yes.
L'chaim, Aaron.
Give me a second.
Like Neil deGrasse Tyson told us.
No,
Friday the 13th so bad and Thursday the 12th isn't.
Yep. Yeah, it is a bummer. I do love that glass, man.
I know. I don't think we've broken the glass on the stream ever. Doug spilled beer and then got completely heckled by Afro Beer Chick the one time.
That's right.
That. He got
I mean that one Hoppy Red Ale, man. I spilled that like 7 times. I feel like on the desk here because like I pour a little bit more, all of a sudden it would fill up like vertically like an inch and a half worth of foam for every a quarter second I poured. So it was like super. I mean, I don't know what the hell was up with the fermentation, man. Shoosh. Man.
Right. Well, we are wrapping up here, unless Doug wants to bust some more glasses and cause a problem in this house and have.
I recommend that he does not bust any more glasses. So.
Glasses everywhere. I think we're good.
Yeah, man.
But Doug has to clean up his mess, clearly. So we're going to clean up this mess, Dan. It was fun having you again.
No, man, it's good to be back.
Wrap it up for everybody and let us know where we can catch you.
Yeah, so
all your shenanigans online.
Yeah. So beer wise, I'm at lifeontap.com. And Dan on Tap, Dan on Tap is where I'm in all the spaces out there. So it doesn't matter if you're reaching me for beer stuff or non-beer stuff, doesn't matter. It's there. Watch Okay Please is the podcast. I think that people can listen to. Again, we may not be the most production heavy kind of podcast that's out there, but we're I think generally decently produced, and I think we offer kind of a different take on a lot of different things. I think that so I think if you're thinking about a series and you happen to see that we covered that, listen to the pitch and decide if you want to invest your time in that. If you do, circle back with the feedback on that series. Again, it doesn't matter if it's the Expanse, if it's the Bear, if it's anything more recently we've done, and the upcoming Magic Mike. If you still haven't seen that yet for some reason,
I haven't.
You might be surprised by that. But yeah, again, I think that. So again, if also out there, if you see something you think we might not have watched, then I really implore everyone out there to pitch. So you go to anchor.fm/watchokplease. You can record your own pitch right there, and we'll use that for an upcoming show. Because again, we're generally unless we've all seen it. If only one of us has seen this, we may still use it because there's two people who have yet to seen it. So that's why we have kind of a tag team pitch from the external person and one of our own people. So it'd be fun.
I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, and I can pull this up and you can tell me, but I don't see this on your let's see here, on your Linktree page.
Main list here. Yeah.
So that direct, I suggest if y'all can put that direct link to
I will talk to Nine and make sure it's there. Yeah, I'll put that on there.
Okay, cool. Because that'll be easy. See, it's easy for me and us to say,
Linktree makes everything easier for everybody. Yeah.
Go to his Linktree. There it is, right there, y'all. That website that I just showed right here. So you can find.
We have links from the website, from the main website to
okay, cool.
But we'll put the Anchor.fm in there as well. And if you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, we put the Anchor.fm link there all the time as well. So yeah, I mean, again, we love to hear from you. I mean, Callisto is also a big fan of The Expanse, so shout out,
Callisto, Callisto, you're welcome here all the time, even when Dan's not here, and even when Dan's not here, he's actually here. So, Callisto, you're welcome.
Callisto is the center of our, various, primarily in Everyday Greeks, but also in Den of Nerds and elsewhere as well. She gathers us all together, and we all get to enjoy content through her as well. So I learned a lot from her.
Yes, and again, it's cool, Callisto, because you were adding to the conversation, and that's what we like the most. So it's great.
Yep.
Jerry, we always love to see you, buddy. We will reach out
to you on here, man.
Yeah, we will listen. Callisto says she listens on Spotify. I probably would too. Yeah. Aaron has a question here before we get out of here.
I've not watched Patient actually.
Okay.
So Aaron, if you record a pitch, man, we will slot it in the queue here. I'm 90% certain that Nyan has not watched it, and I'm 50% certain that Jason has not watched it. So there's a good chance that'd be a good pick. So if you're in, send it on in, man. Or if you want to come on with us to actually do a live recording, I'm here. I think we're Twitter friends out there, so we'll talk.
So I am not as suited as well as my co-host for your stream. So you should absolutely try to have Doug on, but that's just my opinion. And I'm just not suited because I don't consume. I love Doug because Doug gives me goals, literally. Because it's hard for me to consume content at the rate that Doug does, whether it be books or TV. Some people are just really good at consuming books, content. You know what I'm saying? But
his
Doug's
book
got
content vastly. Yeah.
Got the fucking podcast down. I mean, he probably doesn't listen to as many podcasts, but the man can watch some shows. So I don't know. I think that would be a great synergy, but I'm not either one of y'all. But I'm just saying. But
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we're all about collaborating, and it's all about that cross promotion out there. Honestly, in that regard. I mean, because I feel like and at some point, when I get my own personal items together here, I do want to have a more of a promotion page where I'm cross promoting, the content creators like you guys here, as well as everyone else out there in the verse. Everyone from the Normies to Nerds, Main Authority, Vader's Lair, Nerd Mafia, all those people out there. I want to promote all those people as much as I can when I can.
Man, I got attention span issues, so I mean, even like the best shows ever, like The Expanse and all that, sometimes it's just hard for me to grab. But as Doug says, if I grab it, it's dead. Like I'll see all of it in like 3 days.
Yep.
But then,
Dude, I remember that.
But then after that, I might go seriously 30 days without even starting anything new. So I'm just weird about the whole thing, and I'm not expecting anybody to be as weird as some people we know. But so on this,
dude.
So the best thing I had was
everybody.
Death Star. We're all going to get out of here at the same time. Best thing I had was Death Star. That shit was crazy, heavy, big.
Yeah.
The second best thing was Second Helping.
That was wild.
Fantastic and fun. I still got most of it here, so I might drop an ice cube in it real quick and take it out and try to refresh it a little bit. And then we had the
classic
wheat. That is a classic from Boulevard Brewing. If you ever see this, y'all, it's great. And I've had this in my my refrigerator for a long ass time. What's that?
I didn't realize it was in 12 ounces, which is great.
Yeah,
like, I'd grab a 6 of that and just be happy.
Right, and I've had it for a long ass time, and it still tastes good. So, on that note, y'all, we're getting out of here.
Yeah, cheers, folks.
Just give me a 5-piece meal. Oh, what a deal.
Damn, Doug, remember that? I used to pound a 5-piece meal from KFC. Like, imagine doing that now. We'd be in the hospital.
I'd be terrified. I would be terrified to do that.
We would be in the hospital. I'm laughing, but
it's taking every fiber of my being not to open up a Grubhub menu right now. Come on, people.
You can do it, Dan. You can do it, Dan.
Shut up. Like,
you gotta fight it. I'm gonna fight it.
Doug and I couldn't even split a 5-piece. So like it's just funny how reckless Doug we used to eat. You know what I mean? Compared to now.
Here, the three of us were here, plus the wives, because we split that 6 ways, maybe.
Right. Would you probably not? I probably want dessert. Then they used to have good dessert. KFC used to really be banging at one point. But,
agreed.
No, they would not be happy.
No. My wife just came down and cleaned up a glass that I knocked over by accident. So, like, that tells you where I'm at. Like, she thinks, and then she's just trying to be helpful, but I feel like I can take care of it.
She's a fucking saint, but you already know.
Yeah, she's fucking great, and I'm fucking lucky. So,
yes.
And
cheers to the wives.
Not a saint.
No.
I can't get over her, dog. I'm never going to. So.
Nope.
Neither am I.
I'm just never going to. But what I'm going to get over is this stream. I'll see y'all. Yes. We'll see y'all next week
with Aaron.
With our friend Aaron.
Looking forward to Aaron.
Yeah. Now I gotta click something like this.